Welcome back, everyone, to Mighty Playbook. Back with Blades of Bahamut. Before we begin, just want to remind everybody that we are doing our Gamers Outreach charity. So if you want to check that out, there's a link right beneath our page that can take you all the access. Everything for this is for a nonprofit organization that helps kids get some entertainment while they are stuck in hospitals due to unfortunate events, cancer, anything like that, allowing them to have something to keep their mind away from all the negatives. If you want to put any money down, $10 allows the players to have advantage for a round. $50, your hero. You can create a hero for here, and I will put them into the story themselves. And then $100, we will get some people together, some of us who want to play online, and we'll do a stream for a video game. So the link is right beneath the stream. We have all 3 games this week, but next week we'll be off. So tomorrow, Star Wars, Thursday, Echoes, and then next week we will be off. So just know that we will not be playing next week. I think that's pretty much it. So let's see if the intro works this time. Welcome back. So I just want to make sure audio is all working before I proceed. Right, that looks like we're good. Okay. Last time, the team themselves making their way over to Aberdeen decided to separate into 2 groups, with some of them staying behind with the cart, and the other ones decided to fly in to eventually go try to find Metacanna. And they did, as she is disguised as a worker.
Lady of the evening.
Yeah, lady of the, that's sure. Yeah, we'll call it that. Eventually meeting back up over at the Dancing Druid, a brothel specifically for Druid kinks. You meet up in her room along with Cammy, and eventually just figure out that the reason why she hasn't left yet is because she is kind of entranced with the idea that she can help out Gaju and her father, and that once it all happens, everything will be all roses. That's where we left off. But before we continue on that spot, we're going to go back to the group since we kind of left them alone for a little bit. So, going back to the group out in the woods, sticking by your animals and your cart, Soma, Dahlia, Dira, Apollo. What do you want to do?
Dahlia and Apollo come back to the camp?
I believe everyone's back together.
Alright. Everybody has pocket pancakes then. They're fireplace or campfire pancakes, not necessarily the best, but they're breakfast.
They're a little sticky.
Pancakes are supposed to be sticky. You're fussy.
Has he never had one before?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, it seemed fine to me.
They're pretty good.
We had a bit of a talk about the whole pocket thing. It was a little confusing, which fair.
The whole pocket thing, right? Like birds of the bees?
What?
Nothing. Never mind.
Why would you put
think he
bees in
needs that
pancakes?
Honey in the pocket. Don't worry about it.
All right, yeah. Anyway, I found some berries. I don't know. Well, I guess they got juice all over. That's why they were sticky. I don't know. He seems a little fussy to me for somebody who's out on campaign, but what do I know? No offense, Soma.
None taken.
I'm gonna look at Soma. I'm gonna look at Hades. Speaking of honey in the pocket. I go and I sit next to Soma and start eating my pocket pancake.
I'm gonna sit on the other side of Soma and start eating.
He's just kind of like taking like a stick. He's kind of poking the fire. And... He's not noticing anything.
Yeah, Deer just gives him a confused look and proceeds to clean up breakfast stuff.
I'm gonna sit in awkward silence for a solid minute and a half. And then I'm gonna be like, so, what are your intentions with Sophinia?
He just keeps poking the fire. So I don't know what you mean.
Look at Hades.
Oh, well, I do, if I may here, I'll step in a second here. I do believe that she's asking what your thoughts and feelings and future positioning with Sophinia might be based on a small bird
last night.
A small bird informing us that you two may have shared a very intimate moment last night.
Try to spying on people again?
Not that bird.
Oh.
I thought she was a squirrel.
Is there still like a psychic connection between everyone?
It depends on how far we dialed it back.
Okay, so that's
how far and how long it's been.
If this is like within, I believe, like an hour or two.
No, it would have been
before present.
No, because we got told by Gaiju that they were at a brothel and then it cut out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, okay.
Right, because it did just cut off. You're right. We're like, you were what? Where?
Yes, we shared a kiss, and I am very fond of your friend. As far as what the future holds, hopefully good things, but I do not plan. I have not discussed with her, and I do not want to presume.
What are your intentions?
Intentions? I didn't really have any. This has happened, and it's happy, and it all worked out in a good way, but it wasn't anything planned. As far as intentions, I haven't had much time to think about it. I mean, hopefully, when they return back, first off, hopefully there's no awkwardness or anything like that, but hopefully...
All right, Dave, let me speak plainly. Are you putting honey in the pocket, or is this like a long-term thing?
Am I supposed to understand this language? What is honey in the pocket?
Are you going to hit it and quit it?
Oh, Jesus.
Hit it and quit it.
What?
If you're implying romance and then leaving, no, that is not my style.
I wouldn't call it... Okay. Have you ever dated someone before? Out of curiosity.
When I was with Averant, I hadn't had much time to have affiliations of any
no.
kind.
Right. Okay.
The
I don't think you two got that in common.
I mean, busy life. It's not like I haven't tried, but it's.
So are you wanting to try or honey?
I don't understand what the honey option is. What is this honey thing? You're trying to be clear. Be clear.
Hades is gonna put his arm around Soma and be like, all right, hold on, just Dahlia, please, by all means, back off the gentleman for a second here. Let's just put it this way, between us guys, really, you know, if however you would want.
Are you literally playing the devil in the shoulder?
What's that?
Are you literally playing devil in the shoulder?
I'm just like literally like over his shoulder, like full on like what I would do to a Silic. And he's just yeah, and he's just like so like in your let's say imagine, you know, 5 years down the road, what is like the best outcome you could picture?
He like you can see his eyes kind of like daze off for a couple seconds. I mean, theoretically, if all this drama in my life is taken care of, hopefully, I hope that if we like each other, then it turns out in a consistent relationship, if that means anything to you.
Oh, of course, that's fantastic. That's great. I'm happy for you, and I'll kind of like just not hit him, but just like, you know, kind of tap him in the shoulder.
We need to get you to do some more push-ups.
I'm well aware. Thank you very much. But he'll just be like,
Let him work up to it.
well, but I guess, so here's a question then. You said all this unfortunate, unsavory business that is following you in drama and things. Why keep at it? Why not just end it? Go off somewhere and live a happy life.
A couple reasons. I guess three come to mind. One is, I mean, I don't feel content to continue on with wherever my journey leads until I can figure out just some kind of reaction from you. Just he is my brother, after all. I don't know if you have any siblings, but if you felt disconnected, wouldn't you want to at least understand what's going on? Two, there's just so much in this realm that's going on. I just feel like with my, not to boast, but my advantages that I have would be of waste if I didn't use them for what they were intended, even though it's not what I want.
If it's not what you want, then you have no obligation to do it.
But
You have done quite a lot already.
I mean, say I do this. I put the sword and hang up my cape, so to speak. Does I mean, like, I don't know if I could justifiably just say that it probably bugged me consistently that it could not be used to at least help the one person per day. Even if it is just one person, it does matter. I'm not saying that I will give up my whole life to do it. Obviously, now that I do not have to serve an order, I can serve my own way of thinking. And I believe that with that, if she would have me, maybe her and that can be a good middle ground in my life.
So how long are you intending to, like, do your thing, you know? So you're saying, like, you're gonna do these two things simultaneously, or you're gonna do your...
How long are you going to be doing your thing?
Oh, she's
Sounds
engaged.
like it sounds like he's talking about finding balance, same as we are, Dahlia. One day at a time.
That's all I can hope for.
Thank you, Hades.
I mean, you and your captain, your squad leader,
I do.
you seem to make it work. Battles here, breaking into kingdoms there, and while also having your relationship.
Well, it's not it's a little bit out of necessity, a little different.
That might not be something you might want to tell him. You don't want to. It would be a little weird if you say it's out of necessity.
I don't think that's the thing that she's talking about, being out of necessity.
Oh.
Breaking into kingdoms. Calm down. I know you think I'm an asshole, but I'm not like that kind of asshole.
Well, I don't think you're an asshole. No.
Insight check.
Okay, an insight check.
You're a huge asshole.
The biggest.
He doesn't think so, but you are.
It's not just
21.
hate; it's straight loathing. No, you can generally assume this is someone who is trying. How should I put this? You can assume he's never actually had real friends before. He's only had people that has served under him or has maybe idolized him, but he's never had anybody who's just been his friends. And he's trying to give you guys as much of a chance as possible so you guys are all just on even ground. He doesn't hate you. He's trying to do his best to try to give you guys what you want without giving too much.
Well, what I'm trying to say is you have this mission, this desire to do these things that you have and have not specified, whatever, but I'm asking if you are intending to do those and potentially court, or if your intentions are to do those things and then coming around to court.
We're gonna get to the meat and potatoes. So let me roll a die.
Dara leans over to Hades. Do you understand what she's talking about?
All right, Delia, evens or odds?
Evens.
Look, you're not speaking plain. Maybe it's just I don't know the slang of this time anymore. I've never really been good with it. I'll just try to get as much out here as possible so we can just get over this awkwardness. I don't know if you are. It's kind of throwing me off. Yes, I've only known you all for so long, and within there, all of us have only seen each other so many times. But like I said, I've not really been with many at all, and lesser than that have been many that I've cared about. I truly believe that I care about your friend in a way that I've never had about anyone before. What that means, we'll have to figure it out, but I don't want to speak for myself to her friends. I mean, I feel a little awkward speaking. It feels kind of behind her back, you know what I mean?
I'm just asking what your intentions are. Obviously you two have, some canoodling to do.
Hopefully when I say this you'll understand, but will make them as honorable as possible.
Alright, D.
I think the last thing that on the topic, really, and we'll leave it be. But I know you said that you wish to continue to do good, at least one person a day, if possible. And you ask why we continue to do what we do. Regrettably, we have seen some things. And we are on a course in which we must intervene, or something very bad will happen. if that is not something in your situation, all I say is to consider a life outside of war, of the military, of what you've had to deal with, because you've dealt with a lot. You have done, by means, your fair share. And if you can find happiness in this incredibly fucked up world, you need to jump at it, because it's very rare. I'm gonna kind of like look over at Dahlia for a second, then down at her hand for a second, back up at her, but I'll be like, it's very rare that we get what we want in this world. But if you get the opportunity, you have to take it. So perhaps, as just an outside observer, consider the opportunity that you have in front of you and the option that you may have. Because honestly, Zephinia, there's no better.
And if you hurt her, I will kill you.
Oh no. She kids. Sort of.
I think that kind of goes without saying.
I just shove a pocket pancake in my mouth before I say something else.
Best of friends.
I hand you the skillet and the scrub brush. Here, keep yourself busy.
Me?
Yes, you.
Apollo's gonna get up and just kind of like put his, like, he's still with his hand kind of on his shoulder, just kind of give that like friendly squeeze for a second, and just kind of nod at him and just head over to the wagon for a second.
Okay.
I'll get up and leave too, because I have to now scrub this. And
He will spend a few seconds and think that he's getting a vibe, and he starts heading towards Apollo, or Hades at this current point. Thinking that maybe like you were trying to get him to go over there or something like that.
Oh, yeah, no, that was just the friendly, like, I got you, man, it's alright.
Oh, okay. He eventually comes over to you though. I just want to let you know that out of between you and Dira, you two are pretty straightforward, and I appreciate that. It's nice to talk to someone direct without actually being. Your other friend decides to really dig deep. I'm not a big fan.
Dahlia likes to think she's cute about things at times. She means well, though.
sleep with one eye open, motherfucker.
Fireball.
He's just like looks at you. He's just like, just a little piece of information. I don't tell anybody. Brother or sister and I, we have a bit of heightened senses, and whether or not I want to, I hear a bunch of the conversations go around. So I can't help but like overhear when certain conversations happen, and I'll do my best to try to not do anything, but I'm not used to having sharp words so many times. But I just want to let you know that he puts his hand out for a shake. I think I can respect you as a good friend.
I seem to have that effect on people, and he'll put it out and like shake his hand back, and he'll just kind of be like, as much as you are not used to being around non-military type situations and people, I guess understand a bit too that we have been in a very non-friendly situation for the past handful of years on the run ourselves, and it is very difficult for us to trust some people. So please excuse Dahlia. She is not quick to trust folk, admittedly for reasons.
So is she?
But-
So she's like this with everybody, or just me?
Pretty much everyone.
Oh, okay.
She's got a few situations going on herself. So please do not take it personally. She just has trouble with it trusting, and we all very much care about Sophinia. But again, we hope that whatever it may be, that the two of you can make things figured out well enough to make it work.
Hopefully. And
Do you understand? Sorry, total side note. You said you've never really been with anybody before. Are we talking
I've never really had time for a relationship. No.
beyond? No, not even a relationship. I'm talking about the physical practicality of things.
He like looks at you confused. He does not understand what you're talking about.
He's just gonna like look around, make sure no one's looking. He's just like,
He's like,
This is probably a good time to remember that he did not come from where babies come from.
relations. Ah, right.
yes,
Us.
yes, physical relations.
I've yeah, I mean it. Yeah. I mean it's been a while, but yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna hold on one second. And he goes to the wagon for a second. He digs out like his bag, his satchel, and he pulls a book out, and it's the smut from long ago. And he's like, "Just trust me. Just read this." It gets a little weird, but there's some really good stuff in there.
You sure?
Yeah, trust me. And then even Dolly's even read this one, and she actually likes it.
Okay. I mean, it's not really my cup of tea, but
It really wasn't mine either. We actually formed a book club and started talking about these things.
oh, a book club about this kind of book?
Well, just in general, but this was the first one because we just had access to it.
Oh, there's more than one. Oh,
Apparently, I think Dahlia has a whole other one.
oh, okay. All right, yeah. Kind of like looks at it, kind of like a little bit confused. Like he doesn't know if this is like a joke or if it's
Dead serious. It's dead serious. And he's just like, actually, between you and me, and since we're sharing, I feel as though perhaps we're becoming friends. I'll share something with you. No one really knows this, but I mean, Dahlia and Guide you might know, but there was a period where we did not have the others with us for reasons. I'm not going to go into it because it's a long story.
Okay.
I may have been working on my own book of this.
You're writing one of these kind of novels.
It's a complete romance novel. It's about a sea captain and a sea elf lady who he meets, and they meet and they fall in love and all these things, and it gets a little spicy at times.
He kind of like looks at the book a little interested now, and I just want to picture like this book is kind of like one of those old like Playboy magazines where also like one page unfolds itself like 5 ways down to
Yeah, this is the Beholder one that you gave us a long time ago.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, good luck on that. Okay, I'll read it.
Trust me, you will thank me, and Zophinia will thank you.
He's all right. Okay, well, he like awkwardly. All right. Well, thank you for the kind gift. I will. I guess. While we're not doing anything, I guess I'll just sit down and read it. And he just parks his butt like right on the carriage and just starts like opening it up and like starts reading it like an actual novel.
He's like, I'll let you enjoy that, and he's gonna head back over towards like Dira and Dahlia. Oh, anything else, sir?
No. It's no. Go ahead. You're good.
All right, got you, buddy. And he's gonna like walk away, and like he's gonna go back over and like walk up to Dahlia. They're like, I think we're good. And I gave him a little bit of help. And I kind of like elbow her and like go sit down.
Do I see him reading the smut book now?
He's not hiding. Yeah, you see it.
There are some very spicy scenes there. That might be beneficial.
He looks like he's like straight up blushing as he's like reading it.
Giving him some tips. I see. Give him a high five.
Y'all are weird.
Do you want to read it?
No, I do not.
I've got another one.
I don't care.
We have these notes also
Cue cards.
kind of synopsis everything. We call them
Where am I
Cleveland
supposed to
notes.
I'm sure it comes in handy if you're interested.
Ah, Andy, I see what you did there. Don't worry about it.
Whatever.
Alrighty, well, I need to go pray a bit, so I'm gonna clear my thoughts and then go. I'm gonna go do that.
Don't go too far. We don't know what's going on around here.
I'll just go to the corner of camp, but I do need to pray to my homie Giolazna, who left me on red still.
All of a sudden, just hear responded, "What up, girl?"
Bestie, have you read this new book?
Come on, give me the dish. What's going on?
Do you think gods read smut books?
I mean, why
Gladlin would have loved it.
Well, Gladwin writes them.
They create them.
Gladwin absolutely writes them. Yeah, Deer's just shaking her head at these weird people and getting the fire out and the camp ready to leave safely.
All right. So,
Are you
Dahlia,
tea with the Lozno?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
so you're gonna go find a little spot. Okay.
Yeah.
And just roll me the religion check to see how long it takes to connect with her, or if she does connect at all.
That's good. 23.
23. Okay. Is there anything you say to try to contact her, or do you just kind of just do like a regular ritual pray?
Just checking in. Still have hot gossip tea visions. If you would like to talk about that. Just being a good cleric. Amen.
As your eyes are closed, no matter what position you are, you start to feel, unable to open up your eyes, you start to feel the dampness of the ground turn into more of a solid. The air itself, wet and moist, now turns into a warmth, kind of almost a fall weather. As you open up your eyes, you're sitting at what looks like a stone built-in table to the ground, with two stone chairs that are built in the same way. As you're already sitting in one of the chairs, and she's sitting at the other one. Wings not summoned. She's just wearing more of a casual outfit, kind of sheer, going down, and her hair is a little bit tied up.
Cute. Oh, hey. Hi.
Hi.
What an honor.
Well, I said that I'd work directly with you, and I would try to help out whenever I can, as long as you do likewise. So, here I am. I have a few minutes. Currently, I'm in the area, not too busy.
Oh, you're in the area. Like, physically?
I mean,
Nelithir?
I'm in Nelithir, yeah.
Oh, I won't pry, I know how God's business works.
Appreciate it.
I know you wanted me to keep tabs about if I have visions and things, so I have. I don't know. They just want me to just go right into it?
If they seem important. I mean, I trust you to give me the right information. If there's something you feel like giving me, I am here to listen.
Small question. Do you know a lot about Aegis? And Soma and the Geneva, but
Oh, you're talking about the Averant soldiers.
yeah, those guys.
What about them?
I just had an interesting dream vision the other night. I wonder if it's connected to Aegis somehow. I just didn't know if there were any whispers on the wind in the god world about anything he may be up to that is potentially concerning to gods.
Well, without prying, I am not familiar in depth with any of the three. You just Soma or Geneva? So no, not really. As far as anything you would have seen from them, if you feel comfortable with it, we can investigate. It will be a bit intrusive, but if you are fine with it, we can investigate your vision.
That was kind of like a dream, like it was a vision that it may not be of interest to you. I just, based off of things going on lately in temples and things locked in temples and people looking for people and weirdness, I just didn't know that was on your radar. But I did have one vision for sure that definitely maybe possibly something you would want to know about. And I died pretty horrifically.
That's
on an island.
not good. Oh, do you know what island?
No. It was a big island. It was in flames. The whole island was in flames. And, yeah, my grandfather did it. There was a ritual of some sort. It was in the future by quite a bit, I think, and I was some sort of sacrifice, I think, in this ritual, and we weren't able to stop it, and yeah, I died. And something tells me that it was something pretty big and important, if, you know, whole island's on fire.
I would not like to allow any path that would come the way of, or come to take you away from us. She puts out her hand like this.
Too.
Kind of like almost expecting you to put your hand in hers.
I do it.
As she kind of like holds your hand and kind of like turns sort of side to side, so you guys are kind of like this. You immediately feel a pull, but not aggressive. You don't have to close your eyes, but you can feel that you are sharing that specific vision. She's not pulling anything else but just that vision, and she's just seeing it. She's not taking it away from you, she's just allowing it to be seen. And as you get pulled in there, you're in the spot of the vision that you're only able to see for 1 second. And as you stand in there, it's like time is frozen. She's standing there with you. She's looking around. And at this point of the vision is where your body is shackled. You see Zephini in the air. An older version of Gaju trying to fight against your grandfather. This blood ritual on the ground. She walks up to like the doors to the building. She tries to we don't have enough to be able to see outside these walls. Well, can't look outwards. Might as well look inwards. We got a couple minutes. Go ahead, look around. I'll allow you to give me an investigation check with advantage to walk around in your vision to see what you can find.
I'm trying, but this is a really traumatic vision. I don't like being here already. It's a 17.
Okay. Only given you only are really having like a minute and change to walk around. A couple minutes most. As you're going through, I'll allow you to pick, with that roll, 3 locations in the vision that you want to give a full investigation on. So to explain, there's the throne, there's the ritualistic circle, there is future you in chains, there's future Gaju, there's Zephynia, and there is the slight shimmer of the 3 doors.
I will check out the 3 doors.
Okay. Taking what time you have to try and investigate these, it's like almost enough time of the vision where if you were able to see it maybe in 5 more seconds, you'd be able to see them as clear as day. But taking the time to look at what you can, you know one of them is. And one of them is specifically a door that, from what you can tell, looks exactly like the same pattern that is the family tree on the opening gates to the Demos castle. Based on that pattern, the rest of the doors seem to follow the same thing. But as you look at them, you notice what the difference is. The one that's specifically for the Demos door has the right side of the tree. The middle door has the center of the tree. The left door has the left side of the tree. The doors are also different colors. The right door is black, left door is blue, and the center door is silver. It looks like when the doors are put together, they make the symbol that's on the gates. You can assume that one of the doors is an access to your lineage, going back as far back as whoever the first person was for your lineage. That was the first devil. Whether that was specifically anyone before Demos, if you didn't know. Otherwise, you would assume that the first one that was specifically for your direct lineage would be Demos. You can give me an intelligence check from there, take what little information you notice, if you can understand any of it.
That's an 8.
I'd say the only couple things you can figure out with the limited time as you quick try to put an analogy and try to just think about it real quickly is if the right door is the Deimos line, or specifically your grandfather's line, the left door is the angelic line. You can assume the center door is the mortal line. But why these doors are summoned here, you can't figure it out. Before the vision ends, as this can only happen for so long, Lasna just looks around and mentions she's trying to like to feel against the wall so you can see certain spots that would have been the blind spots for what you would have seen in this vision. She's trying to push through. Just like looking around. Whatever this is a fixed point. Not saying that you can't change it. Whatever happens here is going to happen nonetheless. Whether it's you or somebody else. Whatever's happening that creates this big explosion will always happen. But if we're able to pull you away from it, that could be helpful.
Does it have to be anybody? Like, if it's a fixed point, then maybe there's... I mean, if we can't prevent this happening, then maybe we can not have anybody die, is kind of what I'm trying to get at.
She looks down. I'll be honest, I've never really been the greatest with rituals. But as she gets on one knee and tries to feel the dry clay and the blood of the ritual, of the ritualistic circle, and she starts to look at it and it kind of dissolves like a magic spell in her hands. I can't make heads or tails of what kind of blood ritual this is. The best I can think of is it's the summoning ritual. And with the summoning ritual, however this worked out, it would need someone to be sacrificed for something to get summoned. I think no matter what, someone will eventually die here, whether it's you or somebody else.
Does it tell you anything of who it has to be?
Not much. I can try to research it on it more. See if I can get a couple of my acolytes to do some work. But at this point, the vision starts falling apart and you're back over at the table again. That's as far as I could get till she pulls her hand away. I can take with what I got. I was able to at least understand some, or at least copy some of the spell. I can at least have some of my acolytes learn about it and see if they understand what it is. But the runic design is unique. I've never seen it before.
I mean, is this like a cause for immediate concern, you know, in Godland out there? Like, or do you guys deal with this shit a lot?
I mean, devil summoning is not a new thing. It's become so common, it's almost just... It just happens too much. It's not odd. But...
Like with the doors and the...
Yeah,
John
that
Thorne
is kind of
Chant.
unique. I mean, I understand that one of them could probably be your lineage, but the other two, I don't understand. I'll have to, without knowing more, I'll have to try to figure it out. As you can see that she's like looking up in the air as if something is grabbing her attention.
Do you look concerned at all?
Hmm?
Does she look concerned, like, in this situation
Give
at
me
all?
an insight
Or is
check.
she just like, don't mind if I do. Sick! Jesus Christ. That's a 32.
If anything, so when she came, she was not stressed out at all. After seeing this, she seems stressed. Now, whether or not with that roll, you would assume that this does put her at an unease. Probably for your safety, but also for the fact that she can't understand any of it means that whatever this is something that's even older than her. Granted, even though she's the Lasna and the leader of most of the gods, or at least the current gods, she doesn't know everything. She can't control fate like Gladlin does, she can't control certain things that other gods do, but she does have the general knowledge that most of them have. And she does not understand this. And it's kind of like the knowledge is power kind of thing, that the fact that she sees you on a pyre be ready to sacrifice and she doesn't understand a lick of it is both disconcerting for your safety and disconcerting for the fact that if she doesn't know about it, how bad could this actually truly get? So she's both concerned for you, but concerned for whatever damage it could actually lead to.
Well, yeah, yeah, you know, that's one of the newest visions haunting my dreams.
When you rolled that, did you get a natural 20?
I got a 19.
You got a 19. Okay, never mind.
Barely.
Alright.
So, yeah, I guess that if I get any new information or something, I can let you know. But if you
Yes,
want, talk to your acolytes and let them know and see what they can find, that would be really awesome too.
I will try to leave the messages to commune and figure out from there. I will keep you informed, but unfortunately, more calls await. I must be going.
Is there anything I can do to help with that?
Trust me, you don't want to have to deal with the amount of calls that I get throughout the days, but you do whatever you're doing now. If for some reason you need to reach me again, go ahead. I can't guarantee I'll respond, but I'll definitely make this a priority. And she steps up and she just gently just puts out her hand to like guide you out of the chair. That is all that I can help you out with tonight. But I will be here if you need me. As much as I can do.
I appreciate that. Thank you a lot.
As you just see her wings start to form out of the embers of the area, and as they start to form on her wings, the rest of the scenery just kind of like disappears like flames as you immediately just open up your eyes and you're back praying to the way you were before.
Cool. Well, I somehow feel a little relieved that a god cares about me. Also a little terrified that she is concerned, but it's like going to therapy. You know, you just like talk about your feelings, and they're like, "I understand," and I'm just like, "Oh my god!" So, she'll, I guess, go fuck with everyone else.
That's what I should have titled this episode: Feelings.
God therapy.
God
101.
therapy / what is Soma's intentions?
What is love?
Yeah. What is love, baby? Don't hurt me. All right. We are going to move back to the other group. So, after getting all the information from Cammy and Metacanna, and you being well, theoretically their brothel room, and figuring out everything that's going on, what would the few of you like to do?
I mean, I know I had to take a short rest so that I can wild shape again.
Yeah, and short rest doesn't mean you have to sleep. You can just stand around. You can still talk, just as long as you're not doing anything strenuous.
I think he's just gonna be quiet and listening to the others.
Okay. This whole time, Trey is just kind of ear against the wall. She's like, they should not be doing that in those forms. They're just so... You just hear her like yell, "That is not how you do that! No!"
And you just like
Yeah.
puts a hand over her mouth and shh, no. Don't. No.
It's weird.
Just be glad
I'm not
that you weren't around
denying
the
that.
last 10 years.
Wait, what'd you guys do in wait, why?
Defenda's just gonna do like a questioning look at Kaiju, like,
You didn't do stuff like this, did you?
You really want to know?
no. No, we don't want to know. No. That thought in your mind, keep it in.
I got to learn some new animal forms. Now it feels like, oh, I turned into some of them as dirty. All right, I'm gonna go over here. I feel like I need to wash my hands. All right.
Zephinia's gonna keep Treya on track every so often, just make sure she's okay.
Okay. She kind of has like, she's incredibly uncomfortable right now. She's kind of like got like, not like the shakes, but she's got like, kind of like a little twitchiness to her, and you can see that she's trying to be as quiet as possible, but she's having like an internal struggle, and it's for the obvious reason. But yeah, it's just like, it's not what that's for. It's not what that's for. She's just kind of.
Zephinia'll sit next to Kaiju. You think she's gonna be okay?
The sooner we get out of here, the better she'll be.
Glance over at her again. I hope so.
Maybe
Yeah.
provide her some distraction while I rest.
She'll go sit over by Treya. Just do idle conversation with her.
Okay. Give me a perception check while you sit next to Treya.
That is a 10.
10. As you sit by her and you converse, you notice something on her that no one's noticed yet. She has a very, very, very small pendant that she hides beneath her clothing. Right now, she's currently holding it for like comfort, and it's giving a little bit of luminescence, but not like a large glow.
That's pretty. Where'd you get that?
Can't say. I've had it since I was born, but since I've been adopted, I don't know. They were told me that they found me with it, and I've been told it gives me good luck. And every time I talk to it, I feel, I don't know if it gives me luck, but at least gives me comfort.
What does it look like?
So it's not a perfect stone. It's a little bit jagged. It's almost kind of like just a bashed out piece of what looks like kind of like a diamond quartz kind of place like that. And it just looks like there's a very, very, very thin hole that has a gold line string around it for the necklace. And it's so thin, that's how it's hard to find. But even though the piece is really, really small, you can assume that size means nothing in the course of this. You can definitely feel a large amount of arcane energy coming from it. Not harmful, but just seems like there is something to it that's more than just, there for self-comfort.
Treya, does it help you at all with your magic?
But this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've never actually taken it off. I know I've been always able to do more than most people, but I mean, my adopted father just said that I was always just naturally just gifted. But I feel that I know nothing about my life before this or my parents, but I feel like whatever this is gives me a connection to not them, but maybe where I'm from.
Did you ever think of maybe asking Hades about it? I mean, he knows a lot about magic stuff.
It's no. I've thought about talking about some of my magic before, but about this, no, I didn't think about it. No. I mean, honestly, sometimes I forget I have it. It's not until I'm really stressed I decide to remember that it's there. Something so small. I sometimes forget it. I'd lose it if it wasn't so well attached to me. I would forget when I wouldn't be wearing it.
You've had it this long. I don't think you're gonna lose it, but you might want to talk to Hades about it. I don't know, there's something coming from it. I know a little bit of magic, but not enough to say anything on it.
Maybe. Honestly, I've talked to two people about it before. One when I was a child, and my adopted mother wanted to see if there was anything wrong with me, so they hired the local wizard to come by, and he didn't find anything unique, and I once wanted to check up on it, so I went to an enchanter, and the enchanter couldn't find anything useful about it either. I think it's just, I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
You never know. I mean, it might just be a necklace your parents may have left you, or it could be something else. Always good to double check and look.
Maybe I'll give him a chat once we eventually get back together.
She's gonna kind of sit and awkwardly kind of look around and see a guy just sitting there meditating and not looking, and all the sounds going, and she's just gonna stand up and are you guys hungry? I'll just find us something small.
And Cam immediately interrupts. Is like, I'll go get the food. You probably don't want to go out there by yourself.
Oh, and she'll sit back down.
And Cam immediately just opens the door, and she just gets wide enough so she can fit herself and her horns through, and she really pops through, and she's like, I'll be back in just a couple minutes, and really runs off with like a kind of like a little bent little serving tray with her. But after about 5 minutes worth of time, she comes back with like some what looks like some random meat that's just like ripped off of certain pieces. Nothing that's been cut like with a knife, but it looks like just like handfuls of different kind of food. Some berries. Nothing like a full meal, like healthy, but just enough where you can pick at it, kind of like that. Just grab a little bit to fill up a whole serving plate, and kind of pulls out like a stool and then puts the plate down. If you're just sitting here, anybody help yourself? I know it's not the best, but I had to grab some of the leftovers from some of the previous customers. But don't worry, I took off the parts that they bit off. It's all the meat that wasn't touched.
You hungry? I'm there's a lot for you. Go eat.
Who are you talking to?
Treya.
She's like, she like looks at it, and she just like looks at it like incredibly concerned, like, I don't think I can eat right now. That's also they're druids eating pork. That's weird. This place is all weird. No, I'm good. She
I give her a look.
I give her like a couple berries, and she grabs like a couple of berries and stuff like that. She's like, if anything, it made her a little bit more uncomfortable. But she's like, she grabs like a little handful of berries and she starts munching on those.
Did she pull those out of her pocket, or were they?
No, they're on the tray. There's scattered
Okay.
berries, fruit, and then there's just there's different kind of like pork and like chicken that's on there, different kind of meats and stuff like that. It's not like that she's not a vegan, but her concern right now, you can assume, with all the druid things going on right now, is that it's maybe they're always in the druid form, but they're also eating like the meat that the creature they are, kind of like that. So, yeah.
Zephania very awkwardly and painstakingly gets like the piece that looks the most whole and takes it and very gingerly is eating it in a corner now.
Yeah. Okay. After a couple hours go, you guys can take a short rest. Hit your short rest button. Do what you need to do. Is at this point, Cammy, during the short rest, has decided to get a little assertive, and she started changing her clothes to actually put on her actual like combat outfit on. Gets her crossbow, puts it on her back, grabs a couple daggers, puts it on her side. The look that you'd last seen her wearing. Puts a couple caps on her horns. And she just looks at Metacanna. We're not leaving with you looking like that. Go put on your garb. She finds a corner. She starts changing into what is the normal outfit that she's got on, that she doesn't wear whenever she's as a soldier. As she grabs a couple of her weapons, and as they are look at the rest of you. So it's probably best if you get out back and they immediately just like kind of kick like a trap door and it flips open. You see a stairwell leading down the way we came to get out. We can lead you guys out after that. If you have a way to fly us over, we can take it from there. I think both of us can turn into at least field mice. It's probably as small as we can go.
As long as you are all that small, I can carry you out.
Okay.
Alright, lead the way.
As Cammy just grabs she just lights a torch that's there and starts leading you guys down as she's holding it up. As there is no light down here, and you can eventually see that every room has like an escape hatch, whether it's specifically in case if for some reason local sheriffs or something like that, so I have to figure out some place and some of them have to quick run out, or maybe one of the customers is getting abusive and they need the right to run away. So this is kind of like an easy way out, kind of like that. As you see, many of the rooms have their own escape, and they eventually lead into this intersection that you guys eventually get to. As they get there, okay. From there, we gotta go a little bit north. As they keep going on a little bit further. And not 5 minutes later, you guys eventually get out into what looks like a small shack, as they need to put up the latch, unlock it, and lift themselves up and say, immediately climb up. And Cammy starts giving everybody hands to start pulling them up, as there's only like a ladder and really tight space to get through. And Zephania, for you got to like kind of like almost wrap your wings around yourself to try to climb up, as there's not enough space for the arch of your wings to really be through. As you got to kind of squeeze your way through. But you all get your way up into this small little shack. And as you look through the windows, you find yourself probably in the center of town, as it's taken you actually through most of the businesses to get you back in the center. Is immediately they immediately turn into field mice. Treya herself turns into like she looked things about. She's like, no. God, I don't know what to do. No,
Just not the spider, please, not the spider.
Okay, not the spider. That one was doing that.
Oh,
maybe I should do.
bugs
Oh no, they
in
were doing that.
general.
What's that?
Oh, bugs in general.
Okay. All right, and then she immediately just like looks at it and is like, all right, not the copy, but and then she turns into a field mouse as well, with the little pink stripe.
Pick up all the little field mices, put them in my pocket.
Okay.
I also turn into a field mouse, but my
Okay.
ears are bigger.
Okay, fair enough.
I turn invisible.
An awkward field mouse with huge ears and an extremely long tail.
It's not Dumbo size. It's just longer.
Okay.
I'll start flying us over the wall back to camp.
And are you going invisible?
Yes.
All right. As you fly over the actual walls themselves to make sure that it doesn't disengage into the druid forms, you eventually are able to land back at the camp. As you can see, most of the people are either at the campfire. I mean, you see what looks like Dahlia is currently cleaning some pans, and Soma is currently, looks like he's reading some kind of book on the cart, and you're able to land yourself by with no one noticing you're there, as you're currently invisible.
I put the little field mice back on the ground and I stay invisible for a few minutes.
Okay, as all the field mice come out, as soon as you let go of them, they are no longer invisible, as anybody who has like a passive perception of at least 16 would randomly just see like 4 field mice just randomly appear out of nowhere.
Did we have mice in the car? Did they pack this?
I'll take
I
the
don't believe so.
off. We need
Oh,
it
Jesus!
back.
Oh, sweet Lord. Every time.
Amazing.
As you just see, Soma just put like a bookmark in his book, close it back up, put it on the side, and as he
You're like halfway through it at this point. I'm just like, oh, it's good. It's good shit.
as,
Starts highlighting.
as he looks extremely excited to see you back, as he starts walking his way up, but then he is like halfway, he tries to calm himself down and tries to play it cool, and he starts walking his way up slower.
She just turns everybody okay? And she looks Soma, all good? Everybody good?
Yeah. Getting ready to head out. We know where we're going.
Yeah, we had a great time. How was the brothel? The brothel.
Why are you saying that like that?
I
Good
just
mouse.
didn't.
You just hear like the longest sigh come out of a mouse.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might have scarred Treya for life. You good, Treya?
Amelia Treya just like looks at you, looks down, and just starts slowly, just kind of like ears low, just kind of like going over into a corner and just curling up into like a little spot.
I'm gonna scoop her back up and just hold her and just give her little pets. We probably, we won't talk about that while she's here.
She just looks at you and she just gives you like the wide eyes. Like if you ever stop petting, she'll eventually give you like the biggest eyes in the world.
You're stuck now.
Threya. That one's definitely Gaijurokash. Metacanna and...
Cammy.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
We did find them. Are you guys... Are you good as mice for a little bit, or...?
They just like look at each other and they just kind of like nod as they both transform back into the regular forms.
No, well, might have been the best way to smuggle you wherever we're going, but okay.
Can't immediately. Greetings, everyone. Sorry to intrude, but in advance, thank you for having us. As Metacanna just like looks and just kind of goes up against a tree, just kind of sulking a little bit. She's like, excuse me. And she goes, walks over. It's like, we'll figure this out. We'll get it taken care of. And they kind of like walk
What
into
are we
the woods and
figuring
start
out?
as they start walking away.
Where are they going? They just got here.
I look at the other two mice.
Gaiju slowly shifts out of his mouse form. Just watches them go.
Treya's not going to change.
All
She's
right,
in
what's
good mode
going
right now.
on?
It
What's happened?
seems my father got to Metacanna about a week ago.
Oh boy. You try and pull her into his schemes? Is that
I
what she
would say
wanted to
he
meet you?
already succeeded.
Well,
Know at all yet where the temple is?
I think Metacanna knows.
well, where are they going? They just got here.
You can still see them. They're not going far. They're just like... They're probably like 20 feet into the woods, and they stop there.
Alright.
They're not like running away from you. They just decide to just
They're just
walk in the woods.
getting space.
Hmm.
I see that. I don't. Alright. Just
Don't
kind of
think
keep an
they're
eye
gonna
on, make
go
sure
too
they
far.
stick around.
Should we ready up the wagon? If we know where we're going next?
Just about ready. So just waiting to find out where we're going. And how.
Andrew, I know that this is probably going to be uncomfortable, and I'm sure they need a moment, but I fear time is of the essence, and we must find out what this temple is.
We'll ask. And after hesitating a little bit, he'll walk over to the two of them.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know you need to catch your breath and think about things. Where exactly are we heading?
Kimmy just looks at Metacanna for an answer. The temple itself is about a 1 day west. It's not hidden very well. It's in the middle of nowhere. She like pulls out a map and passes it to you, as it's a similar map that you might have, but it essentially marks exactly where it is and kind of a certain path you got to take to kind of what she indicates is she's like, I had to learn a certain way to get there. It's not like it's hard to get to, but there's a certain way to get there. The runes around it are magical, and you got to do certain things to make sure it understands that you are no threat. No more than a day, and she passes the map to you. And if you look at the realm map right now, it's just about right here.
Gotcha.
She mentions to you something about the runes in there, and it transports you further in, so you don't have to make the 5-day travel across that far of the continent. I guess I should mention a couple things if we are going there. I don't know this for sure, but when I was there, my druid form was hard to control. And anytime I tried to cast spells, concentration was difficult. There is something about the place that makes magic difficult to use.
Noted. Metacanna. About what I said earlier. I don't blame you for wanting to help him. I think if I didn't have my friends, I probably would have done the same thing. I'm just sorry that you ended up getting it worse than I did.
She just lifts up her head and, with like much far past teary eyes, she immediately just runs at you and just throws herself at you with a big hug. As Cammy just tries to allow you two to at least have a sibling moment, she just immediately looks and she just whispers, "I'll let the rest of the group know." And she starts walking past.
What do you plan to do when you see him next?
Well, my original plan was to complete the task, but I don't know what's going to happen there since I wasn't able to retrieve the money. But, if all things work out the way I hoped, then help him and hope it all works out. If not, then I guess I'm glad that I have my brother at my side.
The money, it was just for paying off debts, or did he need that for something specific?
He said that he needed to. Excuse me. He said he needed it to pay off the debts. That if he could pay the people that he owed, then he could get a hold of what was inside the temple on his own without having the threat of them looming over his conscience.
How much was it?
It was about 10,000 gold.
Alright. Did he mention anything about Mother to you?
Nothing of late. I mean, other than the fact that, everything itself will bring us back as a good family again. Other than that, no, nothing directly about her. And I haven't seen her in some time either.
Alright. We'll get through this. Dromax always do. And he's just gonna slowly step away and start heading towards the group.
Okay. While you're having that conversation, we're going to go back to the group itself. Someone decides to go up to Zephania. So, I've been thinking. Spent talking to your friends, and I've put some time into it. And he looks at you, and I would be curious to, as he, tries to slide back his hair as much as possible.
She gives him a hug right then. She goes, "I'm glad you stayed."
He holds you tight. Me too. As who has does anybody have a let's see, I gotta roll. Oh fuck. Never mind.
Trey.
Never okay, does anybody have a passive perception of 20? Okay. No one sees this, but as soon as you're holding him, you just feel his body start to seize up as he immediately drops down in pain as he immediately goes unconscious. In the far back behind him, you just see that a spell is casted upon him by a natural 20 from stealth. As in the distance, you see someone with a broadsword coming out of the shadows as you see Aegis immediately comes by as he just put a paralysis spell on his brother.
I'm gonna scream for Dahlia. Dahlia, I need your help now! And like stand over him and have
As he
sword
immediately
ready.
rushes towards you, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw, Sophia.
Coins.
Wrong
No
campaign.
That's a 4.
Okay. As right when you're about to say something, he immediately rushes at you with extreme speed and puts his broadsword straight to your neck. Point it so much you can feel the blood just slowly coming down. You all value her life. Don't move.
What do you want?
As you see him out of the shadows now, he looks ill. His body almost looks like it's extremely affected by the plague. But in this case, most people would have died or been converted at this point. It looks like he is just like every blood vessel has turned black. As he puts his foot directly on his brother's head and just pushes it down. Just as anybody else does, I want to survive. And I will do what I need to do to get it done. My
Okay, we
brother
can
here-
talk about this.
Back
Oh, we can talk about it.
now.
I know where you're all going. And I'm not going to impede you. As he eventually sees Gaju walking up. You want your father? You know where to go? As he immediately looks at you. You got a day. Otherwise he's dead. As he immediately pulls his blade back, he just disappears.
Zephania's gonna try and help Soma right away.
Soma's
Does he like fade away into the ether, or like does he retract into the tree?
As far as which kid tells, it looks like his body actually breaks up into like black particles. And he just like disappears. Like he almost turns into like a black ash, but kind of like moves up like embers in the sky.
What in places was that?
Well, I didn't hate him, but I hate him now.
What the hell happened to him?
He fucked around and found out.
What'd you say about Soma, Joe?
Soma's unconscious. The spell he cast on him actually put him unconscious. He's at full health,
Okay.
but he is currently unconscious right now.
She's still gonna try and help and call Dahlia over. Dahlia, what can you do?
He's just out. I mean, I cast a lesser restoration.
Okay. Cast
Does
lesser.
that do anything?
Yep. He casts lesser restoration as he starts to open up his eyes. As he immediately like reacts, no one was just happening. He just draws his sword, looking around for Aegis. Where the fuck is he?
He's gone.
Gone.
As he immediately turns around and sees Zephania's cut, as he immediately just drops his sword and just looks at you. Did he hurt you?
It's fine. But he's not. I don't know if you've seen him recently. He is not the same person you knew before.
As he picks up his blade and puts it on his back. No, I have not seen this some time. Shit. As he just readjusts himself.
He seems more plague than man. Do you?
I cure wounds on Zephania, by the way.
Thank you.
He's probably
What?
being afflicted further than I anticipated. probably making it worse before he's making it better.
How though? How could this progress so fast?
How's he plan to make it better?
I have no idea. This is why I've been trying to contact him. He's probably trying to find the most gruesome ways to solve the problem. To cure. I have the same affliction that he does, but I haven't succumbed to anything that he has. Geneva was slowly near the end, but it hasn't affected me like it's affected them. We were trying to discover for the longest time of how to cure ourselves from the ailments. Or at least them. I haven't suffered any symptoms.
What symptoms of what?
The plague. We were all born with it. In our system. It allows us to be better, I guess. And it also gives us a resistance to the plague itself. But we've noticed in the past 15 years that Geneva and Aegis, especially during the war, the more they pushed into battles, the more the corruption was becoming apparent. But they took it against me because no matter how hard I pushed, it didn't do anything to me. In fact, I kind of think that they kind of resented me for it. And so they started getting ill. Geneva herself was able to hold back on it, since she did not do much strenuous activity, more arcane. But it seemed like every time she turned into her draconic form, every time she reverted back, she started to get a little more sick. Aegis is different. Aegis doesn't use magic much. He uses strength, brawn, more than anything else, and the more stamina he drained, the more he got sick.
Is that why he left?
I know we talked about it before he left. He wanted me to go with him, but I didn't find his motives just. He seemed too determined to do anything necessary to solve a problem that was allocated to him and her. No offense to them, but I needed more of a reason to abandon my beliefs than other than just to cure illness that would take a lifetime to understand. It does haunt me every night, though. He kind of like puts his hands up and he just kind of closes his fist. Different
So he
situations.
He thinks whatever's in this temple is going to solve that?
I would
Seems
assume.
like it.
Especially if
Is that
he's
what this is
willing
all
to
about?
kill for it.
Gaiju, I know you have mixed feelings with your father, but I know you really probably don't want to see him dead by Aegis's hand. Should we go after him? Most likely one big trap, but
When ain't it?
it's us.
I don't have a choice. But it's not for my father.
What else is it?
My mother. Because if my father fails in his duties, then my mother will suffer the consequences.
Anyway,
Then let's go.
Good enough.
What were you saying, Sophia? Were you going to say something?
Anyway, we can sneak her out before we go. Somewhere safe she can stay.
We only have a day.
Probably not.
As Metacanna returns now and kind of interjects. As much as I'd like to go find Mother, if you gave us a day, and day is what we have, we need to leave now.
Let's just go.
Maybe it'll secure him. Maybe it won't. We make sure he keeps his word either way.
Start packing up the last of the stuff.
Metacanna goes up to Gaju. Now with kind of a different resolve. Just want you to know that whatever happens, I'm with you. I don't know what we're gonna find there. I don't know if his words are honest or lies. What I did was good or not. But I trust your judgment. I'll follow your lead, brother.
Father had 23 years to fix his mistakes, to make it up to us. I don't care what happens to him. At the end of the day, all I care about is that my friends, you, and Mother are safe. And for that, I will pay any price. So, be careful. Look after yourself. And we will get through this.
She just puts a hand on your shoulder. She just kind of leans up against you. I love you, brother. She just starts walking back over to Candy. Alright.
He's just gonna silently get in the cart.
Before the cart starts heading its way over to the temple, is there anything anybody wants to do first?
Quick side question. Did that
Yes.
broadsword look familiar to me? Just crossing.
It's the same broadsword he had when he originally trained you guys.
Okay, so it didn't
Nothing
stick
different.
out.
Yeah. I mean, you know his
All right.
broadsword is magical, but you don't know the parameters of it. You've seen it in battle. It seems like it doesn't... From when you've seen it in battle, unless he has some kind of hidden thing to it, it didn't seem to have like any kind of crazy cool technique to it. It just seemed incredibly powerful.
As long as it's not certain broadswords from... There are certain swords from certain visions, that's all.
Gotcha. Okay. As you all head into the cart, start heading your way towards the path on the map. As we continue on there, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll come right back to the journey at hand. So, stick with us for 10 minutes. We'll be right back.
anywhere.
Yeah, right? All right, all right, we're back. All right, cool. So, heading out on your travel, knowing that there's a day ahead, does anybody want to have, taking into account you're going to be taking most of this time to travel, or does anybody want to do shifts to actually try to sleep during this process to get a long rest?
Probably wouldn't
Probably
be a bad
not
idea.
a bad idea.
Okay.
We'll definitely take second or first shift to let everyone else rest.
Okay, so who
I'm
wants...
pretty well
I didn't
rested for a while,
anything.
so
I think those of us back at camp didn't really do anything, so.
I'll take first shift with Dahlia.
I'll probably just be awake in general. So I'll take however many until I need to rest again.
Okay.
Bad. I didn't mean to ping that.
For whoever's
Is Summer
taking
reading
the...
his book?
What's that?
Sorry. Go ahead. Nope, go ahead. It's cool.
For anybody who's taken the first watch, give me a perception check.
That's a 10.
So a 10.
I have 21.
The terrain itself, as you're going through, is going through most woods. It looks like it's weird. It's hard to imagine anything this large would be out here. But as far as Dahlia, as you're going around, you can notice it kind of almost feels like these woods are enchanted. Very much like if you didn't have a path ahead, you could easily be lost in this place, as maybe the magic of the woods could easily change the layout of the place. But the fact you have a map at least gives you a good direction forward. With notes on the maps that even say don't pay attention to the terrain, just follow the path ahead. Don't let the terrain mess with your senses. And no
Do we notice
alarm-
like any animals or anything?
No, actually, strangely enough, there are no creatures out here. No birds, no bugs, nothing.
That's a little concerning.
Take that over whatever fire creature was in the other town, so.
The
It's very true. Let's hope it's not here.
during this time, if that was the question you're asking, Soma's not reading the book. He is almost kind of like possessively trying to figure out what's going to happen when you guys get there. Thinking too hard
Soma,
about this whole thing.
do you know what's in this temple?
No, I don't. I didn't really know much about the temple until I found out that this was all their intention to be here. It's the only reason I took any interest. I'm not really a history buff. This kind of thing has been more of Geneva's speed. I don't know much about it.
You don't think whatever's in the temple could affect you like it affects him, right?
I don't think whatever is in the temple is affecting him. I think he's just pushed himself too hard, and to be honest, he's probably been giving himself too much medication. It's probably accelerating the actual symptoms in the process.
What kind of medication?
Geneva and Aegis had certain kind of drugs that were given to them at birth to slow down the progression. We were only told to take at the maximum once per month to make sure any kind of pain or paranoia would be at a low point. And if you did that, it'd be enough to hold it back. But if he is in the state he is, he's probably taking it daily. It's having reverse effects. I love my brother, but he will do anything to succeed in a task, even if it means that he is going to be delusional and break his body in the process.
What if we have to kill him?
Here's a good question. As he just takes off his blade off his back and just like looks at it as he just kind of puts his head against his blade. I will not hinder you if you need to kill him. Just don't know if I can help you. Please understand. I don't know if I can kill my own brother, but I won't stop you.
Zephinia's gonna put a hand on his hand and just kind of hold it.
He holds tight on your hand. If it comes down to it, I'll do what I can to help. I'd rather not have any of you die, as he looks at Zephinia. None of you die if it means to keep them alive. If any of you are fallen, I'll do what I can to help. I just cannot be the killing blow that brings down Aegis.
We can hope it doesn't come to that, but just know that it might. She's gonna like get really close and look at him kind of weirdly. You're not feeling any effects, right? There's kind of like take his hand and just make sure there's no plague marks on it.
No, he actually like shows you, like he actually like rolls up his sleeve, kind of like shows you all the obvious spots other than obviously going full nude in front of everyone, and then kind of just shows that there's no abnormalities. But the one thing that grabs all your attention is that he's got almost like silver tattoos across most of his body, mostly from his collarbone down and his elbow up.
Do they look like mine used to when they were?
They look
silver blue?
similar, but not the same way. Where yours were silver tattoos that are kind of inlaid with your skin, these almost look like he was born with them. And they don't glow like yours did. These are kind of like someone like at birth gave him, not saying this is what happened, but like almost like someone at birth gave him just like a silver coloration of tattoos instead of black. It has no coloration enchantment on it. It just, that's what it looks like. As he shows you all that he doesn't show any infliction. He just rolls his sleeves and just readjusts his clothing. Like I said, I don't know why, but I haven't been afflicted like they have. I've never even shown symptoms, and I haven't now. I don't know why. It's been something we've tried to figure out. I've even offered once to give a blood transfusion to them, to offer maybe if it was a difference of my genetics compared to theirs, maybe a twist. But for some reason it wasn't compatible.
Hopefully it never does to you what it does to him.
He looks at his hands. I've never worried about it, honestly. I've pushed my body to its furthest and nothing's happened.
Does his blood act like normal plague? If I'm gonna look at the rest of the group, if we have to attack, it won't change any of us, right? Or will it?
Are you asking Silik or are you asking the group? Oh, not Silik, Soma.
Soma.
It just responds. He's been cut several times. Occasionally, some of the blood has gotten out. I've never seen anybody actually get infected by it. I think he has it, but he can't pass it on.
Good, at least.
But I'll be honest with you, if he's been taking too much of his serum, who knows what it would have done to him. I can only put heads or tails and just know what it was like before. things could have changed. I guess the best thing I can say is be cautious.
Well, we took down Geneva, we can take down him if we need to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. If you all could take down Geneva, Aegis is not too different. It might be easier for all you, considering you all probably had a tougher time with Geneva due to her magic affiliation. He just doesn't use magic. He's just fast, he's strong. Just be ready for some powerhouse hits, if it comes to it.
If Guy's just being quiet, then Dahlia will just slide next to him and link her arm through his and just give him like a comforting squeeze with her hand.
He'll squeeze back, but he's probably not going to say too much.
She's not going to push anything. Just being like a physical comfort.
Real quick, is Metacanna or Cammy awake?
They are currently sleeping.
Okay.
They're taking a long rest.
Okay. I'll just be looking around.
Okay.
Hades. Treya actually has
Say,
an
well,
interest in...
is Hades sleeping? Is Hades taking his long rest?
Oh, that's right.
He probably would have been resting during that. Yeah.
Then I'm not going to talk to you right now.
Fuck you.
Oh, wait.
He's just laying there.
Smut book in his lap.
Hades! Hades! No.
That's my novel. Give it back.
The holes are coming at me. Oh no!
I cast
No.
fireball.
No, don't touch me then.
I'd say the last thing Soma does, as you two are holding hands, he just like looks at you and he kind of whispers at you. I know it's abrupt, I know it's sudden, but I just want to let you know that with this stressful time and everything that's going on, you are a comfort for me, a solid point that I most dearly need. And he holds tight, not to be too forward, but I hope I don't lose you for any reason at all.
She gives him a kiss in front of everybody.
Even
Suddenly
though
Guy's
Leans her
face
head on his
is
shoulder.
super interesting.
I feel like even though Hades is sleeping, he just hear him whisper, "I knew it," and then just
Woo!
called it.
Get some.
Okay. So, for the people that were sleeping, you can hit the long rest button.
Alright.
Okay, so 8 hours has passed. Does anybody want to take a second shift to get some sleep? Someone offers.
I will
to
take a shift.
Okay. Someone offers
Same.
to Stephania to watch over her while she sleeps if she needs someone to watch over.
I'll be
She
driving.
puts her head
With
on
his
his
shift.
shoulder and just falls asleep.
Okay.
Still be up.
I'll probably take a rest then.
Okay. All right. So for the people that stay up, perception check, please.
Perception. Oh, fucking
Isn't
hell.
great. 11.
8.
24.
Oh, thank God.
Again, scenery's the same, but for Apollo, you notice maybe it's your arcane attunement that's a little more efficient than the rest of the group. But you seem to almost see like a tonal effect of like you can actually see how the trees are interchanging around here, and you can actually see like where the true path is, and not to like look at the trees or landscapes, but just to look straight forward. But you notice that there is now certain creatures that do appear, but there's only two different kinds. First off, there are owls that are hanging around. And then the next thing you see is there are specific, what looks like kind of like falcons that are flying around, but they're few and thin. But they're only two creatures you can find. And every time you are passing by, you notice that they, not even awkwardly, so not even like hidden, but like they are watching you. Like the owls, wherever they are, they're constantly over the path and just kind of like has their body straight as their neck is kind of like turning their head and just following you, while the falcons occasionally like soar above the sights and you can just see their head aimed down as they're just like watching you with a little bird's eye view.
No, they're not what they seem.
All right, I'm gonna guide Dira since she's driving, and then I'm gonna kind of relay to guide you. Not sure if you see this or not, but there's owls out there now, and some falcons above us here, but they seem to be watching us.
That's a little weird.
Could I gather if these are possibly woodland druids?
You can give me a nature check or an animal handling check. Either one.
Okay. 18.
18. As far as you can tell, unless they have a very, very unique ability that you've never seen before, these are not druids. They are natural creatures that live here. But there is a spell affinity to them. They are locked within this domain. As far as you can assume that they are, whatever magical area you are in, they cannot leave this area, and it's somehow they are bound to it. But they are real animals, and they are not shapeshifters of any kind, whether druids or polymorphs or anything like that.
I'll relay that to them as we're going along. Has anyone else woken up? Or...
It's still before the 8 hours, so it would just be... It would be Gaju, Dira, Apollo. It would also be Cami and Metacanna.
Okay. At some point, I'm gonna be that nosy little brother. I'm gonna kind of look over at my sister, and I guess I will use Awakened Mind. You and Cami, you together or friends?
She doesn't have a physical flinch reacting to it, and you just hear a response. It's complicated. I guess the best way to put it is friends, but let's just say that we're always there for each other.
Noted. Well, I'm not judging. You do you.
What about Dahlia? How's that going?
Let's see. Is Dahlia still beside Gaiju?
100% fell asleep on his shoulder.
Okay. He's just gonna casually hold up her hand that has the ring on it.
Little drool coming off the side on your shoulder.
That's my girl.
Probably.
Things are moving along.
Well, I'm happy for you. Maybe after all this we can actually have some proper time together.
That would
Real.
be nice.
Real family moments other than the drama that we're dealing with right now. but I'm happy for you.
Us not dealing with trauma, unheard of. Thank you. She's been one of the more consistent things in my life, that's for sure.
As you can see, her head kind of move towards Cammy and look in the direction as she responds to you. It's good to have someone to ground you, or at least make you feel grounded.
Indeed. He'll kind of just leave them back in silence, keeping an eye on things, but also just letting that storm brew within him.
Okay. Fair enough. Alright. For the rest of the people, you can use the long rest button. As with everybody with their sleep, don't have to deal with exhaustion or anything like that. You... Now... 2/3 of your day there. Everybody can see plain as day now how the force is constantly changing around you. And following the path ahead of you, making sure you're watching the map, there's occasional banks and turns that is marked down that Metacanna is constantly mentioning Nadira. And moving around spots where randomly, just like a mine, a tree would just like explode out as like a surprise to stop any travels that don't understand where it's coming from, and kind of moving around certain things. Until after about a couple hours worth of time, you finally get out of the woods and you are in just a large, extremely open, kind of like hidden cove within the world. Inaccessible by any means other than going through the forest this way. It's almost like the Feywild exists in this location, as it is without the excessive creatures. It is just booming with natural vegetation, the prairies, the light on your face. Everything about it is inviting. But for those people that are a little bit more arcanely inclined, you can tell that there's also something looming over this area. Almost kind of like a slight curse that has taken over this land, but it's not apparent. Almost like hatred has kind of filled up a land filled with joy. But it is not in plain sight. Within the next 6 hours before you get there, is there anything y'all want to talk about, discuss, or do before you arrive at the temple?
I am gonna kind of keep more watch outside, just because I kind of feel that weird feeling that you were mentioning, and I don't like that there's not many animals, so I'm gonna go sit by Dahlia and Gaju for just a little bit and look out.
Okay.
You see anything?
No, which is weird. I mean, it doesn't it seem strange to you? There's no wildlife, just those. And I'll look up at the owls.
Like, kind of lean around her to look out. That's a lot of owls, I guess. Is there, like, any meaning behind the owls that I can think of?
I'd say to your JB and Claire could give me a religion check. See if anything has any meaning to you as far as that point.
14.
You could assume temple animals that are locked into the area. You could assume these are eyes for whatever's inside the temple, maybe protecting it like guardians. But you can also assume that these creatures are not here to harm anything, but be surveillance. Outside of that, you can't really get anything else. All you can assume is that every bit of your journey since you got into this domain has not been hidden. Whoever controls these creatures or whoever's behind their sight has been watching every second of your travel.
She'll gesture to the owls and be like, I guess they're associated with the temple and just maybe guardians, but they're not attacking us, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, we should be quiet and we should. And she's gonna stop and stare at her hand and then. Really?
Wait for her to
And look over at Gaiju and like punch him in the shoulder.
No, what was that for?
Why
What's
didn't you
going
tell
on back
us?
there?
I'm gonna
Tell
hold
you
up
what.
Dahlia's hand with the ring.
A lot happened?
That's so shocking. I had no idea.
You
What's
knew?
going on back there?
What? No.
They're engaged.
Oh! Well, that's not. Oh, that's what you were talking about.
When?
I thought you meant Zaphinian. I didn't understand what you meant.
When did this happen? I'm gonna look back up like, oh yeah, those things.
On the ship?
This whole time? You've been wearing it this whole time?
Well, I was gonna tell you that morning we were making breakfast, but then the dragons and stuff, and then a lot has been going on.
A lot always goes on. Congratulations! And I give her a hug. Like my little wings kind of flutter a little bit in happiness.
Oh.
I might accidentally hit a few people in the face.
Hey, hey, I'm driving here.
Sorry. Tuck them back in.
She hugs her back because she's been wanting to have this girly moment for a hot minute.
I'm so happy for you two.
Took you long
Haven't-
enough.
But I haven't talked about like too much yet because obviously a lot has been going on, but we can talk about it some if you want to.
We're going dress shopping.
Right, just light up.
Oh boy.
How soon can we get to Nana's temple? Look at it, dear.
What you looking at me for? I don't know what's going on in the temple.
You're driving the cart. I don't know how much longer do we have left.
I look at the map. How much longer do we have left?
It's been how much time this would be taking. You probably got like 4 hours.
About 4 hours till we get there. And we gotta do whatever we're coming here to do.
And I'd say at this point, you guys start to notice that the terrain immediately just changes. Where that glooming negative energy comes from, you can now see it. As immediately it looks like, not like this actually happened, but almost like there is a complete cylinder of death. Where there's just a circle of the terrain that circles around the temple you can see in the distance. Of everything is dead and decaying. The luscious life that's around is just like it all burned. No trees,
This
no
don't
grass.
look right.
Burned or like just died?
It looks like a mixture of both. It looks like it died, but it also looks like it wasn't like natural, just like unkept. It looks like something arcane actually happened here to actually destroy it.
Okay, like a wither or like a burn though is what I'm
Wither.
curious.
Wither.
Okay.
So nothing similar to that creature we saw in town of what it could do here.
No.
Okay.
Can I attempt, after hearing Dahlia talk about the owls and that they are somehow spiritually related to whatever's inside the temple or it or whatever, and then now the withering effect of death, can I attempt like a history check to see if I've read a book about any deities that this might link up with?
Sure.
In the meantime, I would like to study the maps.
Okay. Yeah, then give me a either nature or survival check to study the maps and try to memorize them.
18.
18. Maybe not a book that you've read, but maybe something that you've heard through passing. There is several locations that have been rumored across the realm that hold historical importance, that have been rumored to hold information that has far been forbidden. But it has been kind of been twisted of whether or not that means arcane knowledge or something else. But it has been said that anything that's been trapped inside these temples have long been in there for thousands of years, and would have left such a negative emotion that anything living around it, plant life, anything else, would die after so long and leave nothing but decay around it. But you don't know anything specifically about this. You just assume that this is some kind of location that has some old historical knowledge that has been lost for time. But whatever has been trapped in there with it has infected the area.
All right. He will, after hearing them say, like, we need to get in and out of the temple quickly for dress shopping. He's gonna say, well, I feel like that's not the only reason we need to get in and out of there. I'm a little concerned here with this death around as we get closer to the temple. I feel like at some point I've heard something saying that certain points like this exist. Something is inside, knowledge, or very vague. Could be something, someone, I'm not really sure. But the longer that anything living is around these areas, starts to affect them physically. So perhaps, and I'll kind of look at Soma, he just being there and using his chemicals or whatever, the temple has altered those or expedited his plague to make it worse. I'm not sure. Depends on how long he's been here.
Oh God, I hope not. Brother, what have you done?
And Gaiju and Metacanna, I would be worried about your father as well. I know he's not a high priority, but in the eventuality that he has been here for an extended period of time, who knows?
Might help explain why he was being so weird.
Vinia Gajurkash, did you see this in your visions? She just gestures outside.
Let me reach into the
Not
dark
all
corners
this
of my
stuff.
mind.
I've only seen the inside.
I know I saw lights coming down.
Reach into ye old memory.
I am.
Oh.
The depths of my consciousness that are called my notes.
Also, Joe, I rolled a 16.
What were you rolling for? I'm sorry.
To study the maps.
Oh,
I'm trying to
that-
memorize it as best as possible.
Okay, so I'll give you a choice. You can either, with that, you can either perfectly memorize the path in and out that you guys have already taken, so like the forest line, or you can memorize everything inside that Superior Land, both the decayed and non-decayed area.
I want to memorize everything inside.
Everything inside. Okay, got it. Cool.
Joe, I don't remember. I know I saw the lights come down, and I know that I saw the outside the temple, but I don't think we mentioned if it looked like this or not.
Okay, so when you had your vision, and you were whoever, you don't know who you were, this was the correct temple, but the outside seemed more kind of desert, kind of Egyptian. So terrain must have changed since then. Now you're still about a couple hours out, so you don't know if there was grassland past the sands or not, but the spot that you saw was sand.
Then I'll just let Dahlia know. It was just sand when I saw it.
Interesting.
Must have been a long, long time ago.
Must have.
It seemed like it could have been.
Can I get a perception check from everyone, please, as you guys are finishing off your journey?
I use a lucky point because I'm tired of rolling low tonight.
That's a whole ass 7.
Damn.
Oh,
Poor Zephania. Oh my god.
I see nothing. I'm staring
Sometimes
at
the dice are with you, sometimes they're not. I'm telling you,
Perception is not with
you
you.
were staring into his dreamy eyes and nothing else matters.
the slight glistening his skin.
I'm really studying those tattoos, man.
Mm-hmm.
So handsome.
Anybody?
Dirty.
What'd you get?
30-20.
20.
19.
Apollo sees all, or Hades sees all.
Okay, and I didn't hear. Dear, what'd you get?
Muted.
Muted.
Oh, you muted.
Well, that would explain it. 15.
15. Okay. So for Apollo and Dahlia, a few things grab your attention. First off, you can now see the temple in the distance since you're a couple hours out. And you can eventually see what Zephania saw. About maybe an hour in, the terrain's going to turn into sand. But due to the decay, the sand itself looks kind of ashy. Kind of looks like the same effect has happened. But you can assume that's what she saw. But there's one other thing that's grabbing your attention. With the occasional, now no longer seeing owls, because there's not that many trees around, but falcons going around, there's one specific that is following you that is different. And it doesn't seem to be following the same path as the others, where they usually would just follow you directly above and just coast and watch and then eventually leave off another one to take over. This one's kind of slowly around. Occasionally it like dive bombs and then like it goes in front of the cart and like goes around, and it's almost looking like it's intentionally trying to grab your attention. The only other thing that you notice, you two, is that it's a different colorization than the rest. The other ones are kind of like white with a little bit of brown. This one's like let me make sure I get the colors correct. Hang on 1 second. This one's like brown with like darker shades of brown as accents.
I looked to double check Trey's still in the damn wagon.
She's in there, yeah. She's she's in it. Also, Trey automatically always has a pink stripe on her back, so it's not her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way if I can check if this is a creature and not a druid in wild shape?
You can give me a nature check or an animal handling check.
I'm so good at those. We'll go animal handling. It's 13.
It's definitely different than the others. Druid, it's hard to say. You could assume that maybe this thing isn't naturally a bird like the rest, but classifying as a druid seems a little bit of a stretch, but you can't figure out what it is. But it definitely does not seem like the rest of the flock.
As it dive bombs us, how close does it get to us as it does that?
Not enough to hit you, but enough to be like within 5 feet of the cart.
Perfect. I'm going to use detect thoughts on it.
Okay.
I was just gonna do that.
I mean, you both can. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm going for it.
Okay. The first thing you hear is, "Please see me. Please see me. Why are they not noticing me?"
I will use telepathy and say, I see you. What do you need?
I'm gonna wave.
It keeps like it looks like it can't control itself. Unlike the others, where they can just like coast through the air, it seems like this one isn't good enough to like control its own wings to be able to coast. It has to keep like dive bombing and getting air, and as it does, you can hear it respond. I'm trying to get their attention. Can you communicate to Well, Gaju and Metacanna?
And who am I speaking to?
I don't believe we've had the pleasure. I am Zarmir.
I'm gonna kind of like over my shoulder, be like, Gaiju Metacanna, I have a Zarmir dive bombing us.
I was Zarmir on line 1.
Can I patch this through to you guys, or what do I need here?
I'm gonna
He's
lean
here
out
now?
of the cart. And I'm just gonna glare at him. What do you want, you coward?
Kind of keeps like swooping around. Kind of looks confused when you said that. I mean, are you able to telepathically speak to him? Do you have a
Only
line
if
set?
he's in 30 feet of me.
He'll keep going in and out of it. Like he can't control his speed. It doesn't seem like.
I'm gonna voluntarily do psychic whispers, and I will connect Metacanna, Gaiju, Zarmir, myself, because I have to, and Hades.
Because Hades, throw it in there.
He made the connection, so
For
I
the
guess.
fun.
Zarmir, I got you on the line, buddy. What can we do for you?
We're on conference call right now. How you doing?
haven't met? I'm a little worried.
As it keeps flying out, what are you doing here? I've been trying to make sure. God damn it! I was trying to make sure you guys didn't come. What are you doing here?
Like you gave us any other choice?
It goes like a few seconds, almost kind of like sound like he's confused, and then he kind of comes down. It's like, okay, well, you're here now. There's not much I can do. All right, all right, kind of like tries to fly. It looks like he tries to try to look at you, and you can tell that he's struggling trying to fly. Like it's not working for him. And he eventually flies like, all right, well, you're already here. Who knows if they even spotted you? All right, keep the communication up. I'll try to see if I can at least give you a recon ahead. And he immediately just starts taking off ahead, trying to fly as best as possible.
Follow him.
Okay. As you, to see him real quick flying, getting close to the temple, you guys are maybe in like half an hour before you're possibly within eyesight, not knowing if there's any soldiers outside the temple. Take with that what you will.
Can I, at this point, go invisible, go up in the air, and see if I can see further? Scout it out?
With the cart moving, you would have to flap in the air, and technically your flying speed's 30 feet, right? You'd be going slower than the cart.
40 feet.
40 feet, yeah, you'd still be going slower.
I
than
lied,
the cart.
that's my walking feet speed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll stay in the cart.
At natural speed without dashing, the cart itself is going 60 feet.
Okay.
So, whether or not you go invincible is completely up to you. If you want to fly, you can, but you will actually start being behind the group, not ahead of the group. You'd have to dash every turn to kind of keep up their pace. You'd only have a height advantage, not a distance ahead advantage.
Okay.
I
I shall stay.
Okay. So, you're within half an hour out. You can see this temple in all its glory. All of you can. The temple itself is very much shaped like an old Egyptian pyramid. The only difference is it is squared off on the top, not at a point. The pattern of it, instead of being like sand or any kind of gold, this is actually done in what looks like I gotta pull up the colors. Oh god, why are you taking forever to load notes? What's wrong with you? There we go. It is done in colors of what looks like black brown with the hints of what looks like kind of like a greenish blue, for like almost kind of like a purposeful moss that goes between the actual stones itself.
Father, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. I'm pretty close to the temple right now. I don't see anybody outside.
How long have you been here?
Here at the temple?
Yes.
I honestly don't know. It's been a long time. Let's put it like this. Last time I saw you two, you did not look the way you look now.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, they were younger.
You didn't just see them not too long ago?
No, I mean,
I don't- Is this Psychic Whispers?
Oh yeah, I guess
Or is
Sophia
he
couldn't
talking?
answer. Sophia couldn't answer. Yeah,
Sorry,
so-
Savannah.
sorry.
Another group chat. My bad.
Then I'm just gonna sit there as happy as can be, thinking everything's good.
I'm just driving. I was told to follow the bird. I'm following the bird.
I'm gonna speak aloud.
Okay.
Soma,
Yeah.
does your brother shapeshift?
No, he doesn't.
Can he mind control?
Not since I checked last. No.
Do
Like
you
I
know
said, he's not
anyone
been
who
a
can
fil-
shapeshift?
Well, I mean, I know plenty of people who can shapeshift. I mean, I can shapeshift, but and he pulls out like his necklace. Like, I need anything to do it. The only person I knew that could actually shapeshift pretty well was my sister. Outside of that, I mean, you guys are good at shifting your forms, but I mean, I know a few other druids. Pretty much it. Why? What's going on?
That is my father outside,
Oh, wait.
and he has been here a very long time.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm
He
a little
was just
confused.
with us the other day.
I think Aegis played a trick on us back in Carthus,
Oh hell.
which means the Zamir that we spoke to was not my father, and it was likely Aegis. Perhaps Geneva isn't actually dead, but we have a bigger problem on our hands.
When you say Geneva, Soma's hands just clench really tight in her fist.
Can I use the psychic connection still and ask Zeramir? Like, I know we haven't met, but I have a quick question. Do you by chance have a bruise by your eye?
That's really awkward. I mean, I'm a bird right now, but no, I don't have any bruises on my eyes. No.
Did he have a bruise after I punched him?
He did. Yeah.
I'd be like, well, that seems to possibly confirm things that your father does not have a bruise on his eye. And I punched him in the face.
I'm gonna cast Sending to Geneva.
Okay. Doesn't work.
Bitch, are you alive? Oh, it doesn't work?
Doesn't work.
Okay, never mind.
You randomly just hear the blurt out, "Bitch, you alive?" and nothing happens.
The ether.
Surefire away and figure it out.
And we'll
So
tell
does
you,
it
you were
connect?
trying to reach us outside of the surface area.
Yeah.
Based off what you could tell, if you're trying to do sending, if you're already familiar with the person, which you would be, if the person isn't responding, or in this case just can't respond, you assume that either her magical affinity is ended, or she is actually dead.
Well, it can't be Geneva, because she's not answering my sending, so...
Well, the only other concern is they said the magic in this area is affected differently.
Can I cast sending to the supposed person that was Armir? Since I am familiar with them.
Sure.
Who the fuck are you?
That's you're sending to me. You know who I am. Where are you?
Fire one back. Where are you?
You know where I am. And I can see. I mean, let's get out of this place. I can see where you are. You're outside the temple. I'm inside.
Whoever Zodomir was in Corthus is inside the temple, and they can see us right now. Saying that out loud to the group.
I figured.
Do I keep driving?
Yes.
We can't really turn around at this point.
All right. I keep driving and following the bird and listening to all this and being very confused.
Just beware, everyone. Your magic will likely backfire here. Will not work at all.
For
In the temple?
let's see.
Outside, inside. All I know is Metacanna gave us a decent warning. And we should heed that warning.
Fair enough.
Technically,
No
since
shape-shifting.
all our spellcasters give me Arcana check. Everyone. If you're proficient with Arcana, you can give me advantage.
Don't even need to. Nat 20. Come
Oh
on.
shit!
Nice.
I mean, it's on point for Apollo.
Sorry, it was on what
25.
check?
What'd you get, Sophia?
9!
16! It's over a 10!
What
Arcana,
was
got
the
you.
check? Arcana.
Arcana.
Yeah, if you're proficient with it, you can roll with advantage.
Okay. 14 total for me.
Okay.
Quick question, Joe. Did the voice sound any different when I was using sending?
No.
Okay, fuck.
Okay, so most of you can sense that, yes, your magic does seem different here. Apollo, you can actually understand how it actually is altered here. The magic itself is almost like you're in a different plane where magic works differently. In this area, anything that's a concentration is at disadvantage. Anything
Okay, but everything else.
anything involving casting outside the domain is altered. Anything you need to do to communicate outside this domain might not work.
So, like, sending communication out is what you're saying, or
That could be one of the things, yes. So sending out communications
scrying,
outside the
but-
domain, scrying outside, any kind of communication that would lead you outside the domain as far as where the forest line starts and ends could be altered.
got it?
Whether or not it works or not, or you'd be hearing a different answer on the other side, it could just be like a ghost thing. You don't know, but the magic works differently here. As far as casting spells, it seems like casting spells are exactly the same way. You're not going to disadvantage on them, but concentration, you'll disadvantage on. And yeah, the in and outs of the domain are problematic.
Got it. Okay. So then, yeah, he'll kind of relay after kind of like looking around, and he just kind of like. So it would appear as though this forest was not just a magical labyrinth. I feel like we might be in a different plane in a sense of itself. If anyone is trying to focus on a spell to hold it, I feel as though it's not going to be very easy. And if we try to communicate or do anything that would send something outside of this plane, it might not work. Guessing sending or communications or even teleportation would be not, it would not work.
Noted.
Well, still cannot be Jennifer, otherwise it would have connected. Should connected with whoever this is.
If she's on a different plane,
But if the person's inside watching us. Unless inside's on a different plane.
She could be alive, but outside of here, she would not be
No, but
here.
wait, you contacted the person who's watching us, so she wouldn't be that
It couldn't be her
person.
then.
Mm-mm.
Unless there's another one. How many of them are there?
I'm hoping not that many. Who else do we know that could do this?
Why would we know them?
Maybe we
I know.
play along.
Be careful.
They're still playing up this their Zardomir thing, so maybe we play along until we can figure it out.
I guess.
See how it goes.
Could it be something from the temple itself? Somehow? I don't know.
They say that
Makes more sense.
they say lost secrets are here at these places, so it's possible that they found something.
He said, like, somebody or something been trapped in there.
Couldn't be whoever visited us. Guess we'll find out when we get there.
Kaiju, since I can't speak to him, can you ask your bird dad if he saw anybody walk in and out of the building?
Yeah.
Within the last few weeks? Maybe we can get
Yeah.
a description?
Not bird dad.
Have you seen anyone enter the temple? Or leave it?
You're asking the bird?
Yes.
There have been several people coming in and out. I've never been able to really see their faces. They've been mostly cloaked in black. They've been coming back and forth for the past several years. There's only one that is different than the rest. He's looks human with a big sword on his back. He seems to be one in charge.
Aegis.
He also looks incredibly disgusting. Whatever's going on with him, he is messed up. He also is not a good boss to them. He seems to be really threatening them with, get this done or else. But they haven't been able to get
Has
inside.
he returned?
Yeah, he's been here for the past few hours, actually.
Are there multiple entrances? Does he know?
Are there multiple... Blech. Words. Are there multiple entrances?
Well, I mean, there's the front entrance. I mean, the main one. There is another one. It's a little bit more hazardous. I don't know if it would necessarily be any better than dealing with the guards. I gotta warn you. I don't know how much you know, but they have the sword.
I know.
But
Who came with it?
it was one of the cloaked ones. One of the ones in black. They all look the same. I can't count them because they keep coming in and out. I have no idea the total of inside, but they all look all the same. Cloaked face. I've been able to get a look at their skin, though. Their skin seems to be bluish purple.
Like mine? Or different?
Different.
Hmm.
No matter what, even if you take the other entrance, you'll eventually intersect with them. No matter what, it's going to lead to the door. They might have the sword, but without having our bloodline, as far as I know, the sword will do them no good.
Why is that?
Something I was hoping
They
to
need
answer.
someone who... They need someone who can wield the sword. Someone with visions. I wonder if we would be better off splitting up. Someone take the back entrance. I
Eventually,
can be bait.
you eventually see his bird fly over your head and just drop something. And theoretically, if you're just sitting right there, just you're able to grab it in the air, as you find what looks like a small dagger version, less powerful than what you had, as you hear him communicate to you. If you're gonna take the back door, this will get you in. I kept away from them so they couldn't get into that way.
What if we distract them in the front entrance and you and Metacanna go through the back? If they need
That
someone
makes
with
more
visions,
I think they'll
Maybe.
know something's up.
That's the idea.
we can buy you time.
We also don't know that we have Metacanna and Cammy with us. We
And
could
you
have
can
them
call
go to the
them.
rear.
That's what I was thinking.
I would say Soma as well, but he knows obviously Soma's here.
Soma just interjects. It's probably best if I go to the front. He's going to make sure he's going to watch wherever I am.
If I'm being honest, Selma and I would probably be better off in the front. If the rest of you go through the back, they won't expect it.
They're expecting you to come with others. I'll stay with you.
I could stay with them too, Dira. They'd never know I'm there if I'm invisible.
But what is the goal of going through the back? Don't you want to open the door to whatever this is?
Personally, no. I think whatever is in there needs to stay in there. All I care
What-
about is getting that goddamn sword back.
So do we even need to go through the back? Can we just show
And I
up,
think you.
spells blazing? Or swords ablazing?
I think swords ablazing on one side and sneaky on the other is the best way to go.
We don't know how many are truly in there. If we can take them by surprise, or at least let them not know how many of us are there, we have the advantage.
If you're invisible, Sophinia, maybe you should go back there with them.
Either or.
I ain't no good at sneaking or being subtle, so I might as well be where the distraction is.
That's a fair point.
As we're having this conversation, I look around to see if there's like any birds watching us or anything besides Zarmir.
No, it looks like the way he's flying around is specifically trying to scare the other birds away. So right now, it looks like whatever birds are watching you can't give a bird's eye view. So they're kind of like behind you and kind of trailing you a little bit.
They're still
Maybe I
watching
can go with
behind
Sophinia.
us. Can y'all be mass again to go with Sophinia? So the birds don't see you?
For
here-
Metacanna and Cammy,
Yeah, that's who we're talking about going to the back, right?
with the rest of you.
There makes a good point. They're gonna be expecting a group and
What were you gonna say, Ben?
So here's the thing. They have been watching us since we came in the forest. I'm sure they know exactly how many of us there are. I'm sure they are already expecting potentially something from the rear. Honestly, at this point, I feel like we need to just make a frontal approach. Let's just come in full force, be ready for the worst, and be prepared to scorch earth these bastards.
I agree.
Fair enough.
Especially if we're not trying to let whatever this is out.
We can let them not get around behind us by staying together.
I can still take Metacanna and Cammy, go invisible. I mean, the majority's here. Maybe they won't notice. We'll go in with you guys. But at least we can tag from the air without them knowing.
So, I'll just mention, sorry to interrupt, just mention that if you go invisible, you got field mice in your pocket. They can't attack, even if they are invisible, just because they have no range attacks. So, if you decided to do like a range thing, they would have to essentially land.
I
They start chucking mice at him. Get some! Get some! Just like midway, they just turn into like elephants and just immediately just tackle them.
And transform.
I actually unironically love that idea. Just take the mice up in the air, drop them, and they drop wild shape on the way down. Bam!
Biggest form possible, just turn into a giant whale. There you go. Just slam right on them. Problem solved.
Wow.
See? It works. We're good.
How about this? At the moment, they only really need me. I'm sure, and Soma. We park the caravan in front of the temple. Soma and I and Ira approach. We can attempt to say that the others will be staying behind. If they don't buy it, you come with us. If they do, you find a way to sneak away from the caravan and get to the backside. I will leave the option to you, but I want to cover all of our bases as best as possible. Regardless, I will go with whichever you vote for. But at the end of the day, I am bait, and I will continue to be that role.
Soma's just gonna put in his few coins in. Remember, I'm all for helping y'all. But if it's just you and me going in there, remember, I'll not raise my sword up to my brother. I'll defend you, if need be. But if it
I
comes
will.
to gun. And I will not hinder your progress. Same thing as it was for Geneva. If he goes down today, I will not have any anger or any resentment towards any of you. But I will not be the one to kill him.
I can respect that.
That's fair.
If
Ain't just
the
a
back
Chewie.
way is more treacherous, which could slow you down, slow whoever down, potentially. And if there's no real reason, maybe we all need to stay together.
Hades did bring up a good point.
Yeah, they know how
I
many
think-
of us there are.
Sophia stealthing and having Metacanna and Cammy handy for a mice strike could be more beneficial than whatever could be in that back way. If anything, just gives us a good getaway.
Alright. If that's what you will want to do, then I'm fine with that. Like I said, I'm just trying to cover our bases.
At least we know it's there.
So
Alright.
we've got a game plan.
Full frontal assault, let's go.
I think it's about time we show these assholes who they're messing with.
Sounds like a plan.
So you guys are just gonna go full in the
I
front.
like the sound of that.
Let's do it.
As you guys get in close enough to eventually put yourself to the side, Saramir is just kind of like not all the way at the top of the temple, but he's kind of like found like a point where he can kind of put his claws into like a couple of bricks above the archway to the center, or to the front. He's just kind of watching. I can't really help you. If I fly in, I could easily be killed. I wish I could, but I can't. Just know that what happens in there is... Don't trust what you see. It's not just what they can do, it's what... I don't know if it's a temple or what's inside, but it'll play with you. Just be ready.
Noted. Stay safe. Keep out of their reach.
Alright, as you
Whoever
all...
this other Zotomir is, maybe we play into it for a little bit now.
I was going to say that. Let's pretend he is the real Zomir.
Who is? Oh, the other one. Right.
On the plus side, at least you know your dad didn't betray you. As far as we're aware.
We'll see.
Alright. As you all start walking in, the entrance to this place is pretty wide. About 30 feet in width, 15 feet high. It's mostly just a wide tunnel to just go straight in. There's no curves or anything to it. There's lightly lighted torches on each side. First glance, even walking in, for everybody's vision, you don't see anybody. You proceed on. Okay. Entering in. Moving through. The way this is designed is that it is perfectly flat walls. Almost like they purposely did not put brick in these spots. It's held up with an occasional pillar every 30 feet in the center to hold up the weight. These pillars themselves are quite wide and intricately designed. I need everyone to give me an investigation check as you're walking through. DC is 15.
Jesus. It was perception?
Investigation.
Investigation.
Not a 15.
Very much not.
That's
3.
21.
Okay, so Gaju, you notice there's a consistent patterned symbols, what have you, around here. Designed in a very intricate hieroglyphics and different kind of logos and symbols all over the place. This is very much almost kind of like whoever wrote this here was praying to a certain god. The god is represented as a symbol of a bird. A humanoid bird. Based off what you can tell, most likely represented as a female, based off the arch of the body that's shown off as pictures. The way the pictures show is a female form, clawed feet, avian feet more specifically, bird head, large wings, and elongated arms. Other than that, a female torso. Due to it being hieroglyphics, there's no colorization to it. Do you understand what are the languages you speak?
Common, Druidic, Elvish, Infernal.
Okay. Druidic will work for this. So throughout here there are several things written. As far as the first portions when you guys enter in, it seems like the oldest stuff written. It specifically talks about the elder god of the wind. Speaking of her temple, and that this was a sanctuary for those who believed in revenge and retribution. She also helped conquer anybody who decided to live in the air. It seems like a lot of people who made this temple were probably the original Aarakocras, or even some of the first Azamars. Basically anybody who decided to fly as a natural way of movement. But it describes that she does not cover a whole race. It seems like she only covers races that believe in war. Eventually, as you progress on further, you notice that some of the hieroglyphics have changed. Eventually, they turn into warnings. Because I know how the other group responded to me, so do not laugh at the name. Here lies Kazishini, goddess of wind, air, and war.
Fucking do it.
Kazushimi?
Yeah, so Kazeshimi, Kazushimi.
Okay, and she was the god of what?
God of air, war, and she's an elder god.
Okay. As we are going, realizing that this is Druidic, I am going to be translating for everyone who does not understand it. Amazing. I will keep going.
Okay.
But, I'm gonna be a little obnoxious. Aegis. I know you're in here.
No response.
Now we know why you're right. We don't want to let this one out.
Aegis.
Eventually
But
get
does it
to a
spell her?
doorway that has been opened. This is not the doorway you've seen. It seems like a doorway that leads to a doorway. The
Okay.
doorway, it seems like, is a guardian point. And it actually looks like there was almost looks like animated guards here that were killed. These look like they were guards that were trying to stop people from entering the facility, but they already were destroyed. These look like almost kind of like what can I think of the term? They look like they're pieces of the actual temple built to actually create soldiers to protect it.
Like constructs?
Constructs. Thank you. I cannot think of the word. They were built to be almost like golems, big, hulking, just solid creatures, no weapons, but they look like they were meant for specific strength. It looks like, based off the material, they had a resistance to magic, but due to what you know about Aegis, he doesn't use magic. It looks like they just were not strong enough to fight him off. They look like they actually reacted to threats. Most likely, if you came in there without a weapon, they probably would not have activated. This door specifically looks like it was made after the temple was built. If anything, this door actually looks still old, but not as old as the temple itself. And most of you can read this as this writing on it is meant to be fully understandable by all languages. As is like almost like written in arcane that is transferable to any language, no matter how old it is. Here lies Kazishimi, blade of wind, firstborn in the sword of Bahamut. For those who may enter, warning may they be. She does not rely on her blade, and is not barred by it, for she will stay restricted in this temple until the end of her days.
I enter.
Okay, you enter. As soon as you pass through the threshold, you immediately feel this immediately like cackling in your ears. And you know it's something about the temple itself, not like there's someone around you. As you start to hear this voice, I need everyone to give me an insight check on themselves.
I am sticking close to Gachu,
Okay.
just so you know.
Cool.
24?
24.
18.
Well, everybody's doing good. As long as you got a 14 or higher, you're good. So, check on yourself. You can tell that as soon as you pass this threshold, you almost are like affected by the spirit within this place. Kazushima herself. As she's trying to communicate to you, as you hear this cackling. Free me. Use the blade. Free me now. As you all start to see a vision in your eyes of what looks like black eyes with purple irises just staring into your souls and hearts. Teeth jagged, but the creepiest curved smile you've ever seen. But you're all able to push her away. But you can assume that this overflowing energy that's within inside is what's affected the terrain outside. After moving ahead so many feet, you eventually start seeing two shadows pull themselves off the walls about 40 feet in front of you. You see them turn into these shadow warriors. Whether they were the same ones that you guys encountered inside a tavern or other ones. Yeah, wearing the same kind of clothing, but they're standing there. Don't say anything. Don't have any weapons in their hand. And they just step 20 feet apart from each other and then just gesture for you to pass on.
I keep walking.
Okay.
Let's stick close.
Okay. About another 30 feet up, another two pull themselves out of shadows of the wall and do the same thing. They eventually position themselves and they just gesture you to move on. If any of you are looking behind yourselves as you pass by, they just eventually pull themselves back in the shadows as they lose out of sight.
You said they're hooded, right?
Yeah. So they're hooded, and then they got like a cloth inner neck face piece that goes up to the nose.
Got it. Okay, never mind.
I need to make sure I pull out the correct features here. Hang on. Okay, so for anybody who has a perception check of 14 or higher, you can at least see some of the features inside the mask. But it'll only show you from cheekbone up to about a little bit of the forehead. You mostly see like
Passive perception or perception check?
Passive perception.
Okay.
Due to the fact that they are moving within the walls. It's almost like a purplish blue kind of luminescent skin. Almost kind of watery in look. And completely colorless eyes. As if no pupils or any kind of irises exist at all. You would assume if they didn't already make a gesture they could see you, you'd assume these eyes would presume that they would be blind. But they can clearly see you. Eventually, you do see a large door that got you seen in your visions. Grandiose. At this point, you get into a room where the ceiling starts escalating so far, in like a ramp format. Where eventually now the ceiling itself goes up 100 feet, because that's how tall the door is. Inlaid with gold and several symbols all over the place, you eventually see the sword laid on the ground, no one by it. You see two bodies laid on the ground, far past dead, decomposed so much that they are skeletons. One of them missing a hand. As eventually you see Zarmir come out, kind of creeping out in the shadows, just trying to hide. You guys finally made it.
Could have
You
been a
alright?
lot easier.
Well, I'm sorry about the way that everything turned out. I just had to make sure that I could get you here. There's too much at stake.
We would have come with you.
What'd you say?
We would have come with you.
I mean, you saw them in the walls. You gotta understand, they've been on the run. I apologize for the way things went, but I've been on the run so long, I only know how to run. And I ran. I'm sorry. And he looks at both Metacanna and Gaju and is like, I really am
I think, isn't Metacanna
He's
hidden?
invisible.
Oh, that's right. Metacanna is invisible. That's right. Yep.
And while he talks to them, I'm gonna walk around behind him, block his escape.
There is no escape. So there's only one path, and then the path you guys came from is the door.
Well, I'm still gonna walk behind him. So
Okay,
that
so you're
he's
between him and the
invisible
door?
to all of us.
Okay, got it.
Between him and the sword.
Can I recast Psychic Whispers, but make it a group chat with all of us?
Sure.
Just in case.
Does he have the bruise?
Yes, he has the bruise.
I'm gonna be like, so, why didn't you use the sword already?
I tried. It, for some reason, didn't work.
Insight.
Okay, give me an insight check.
Nothing gets past him.
22.
Ooh.
I don't trust this fuckhead.
Can't imagine why.
He's got perfect poker face, but you're able to see through it. You assume that for some reason he can't hold the sword. He probably had to drop it as soon as he got here because it probably burned in his hand, much like how Dahlia held it, even though you never actually saw that.
I'm gonna, through Psychic Whispers, just say, are we still pretending that this is Gaiju's dad, or do we not care?
You pretending for now. I will slowly. Well, I'll step a few feet closer, but still not too close.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it that you just call this place that you're running from wants you to do in here? I mean, you've had these visions. You needed the sword from me. Are you just supposed to release Kazushimi? Is it that I noticed back there?
Okay, yeah, I don't care about the creature inside. What I need is inside is there's books, lore of information of times past, and if I can get them out and bring them over to Nelithir, I can get all charges dropped for everyone. Like, it's worth more than the weight of the king's gold. All this in here can free us from our legal bindings. It can get us rich.
What's really in those books?
I don't know.
Or are you lying to me again?
I don't know what's in the books. If I knew it was in the books, I wouldn't need to get inside.
And yeah, here we are. I step a few feet closer.
Okay.
I am sticking to you like glue, by the way.
Me too. Squaring up behind him.
As you get closer, you feel a pull inside on the other side of the door. As you hear now Zarmir's voice on the other side of the door. But now it's like the same hue as it was the bird. You see like a vision of immediately your father running. And it's the same vision you saw before, where he had to cast a spell to phase him to the other side of the wall. But due to be trapped inside, he died due to suffocation, starvation. Your father's dead on the other side of this wall. Whoever's in front of you is not your father.
Can I tell roughly how long it's been since this vision?
Let's put it like this. You can assume that these two people that are skeletons in the ground were probably his friends. I have him make an insight check. Just give me a deception check. I want to make sure you can hide this from the other Zemir.
Natural 20.
Okay,
For a
he
total
he
of
does
26.
not notice what you just found out.
He's out pokering the poker face.
That's what I do best. How far away am I from him at this point?
From the fake Zemir,
Yes.
I'd assume 10 feet. Which would put you about, because he's 20 feet from the door, so you'd be 30 feet from the door, if that makes any difference. Because then, Zafini, you'd be 5 feet away from the door and 5 feet away from Zarmir. Or fake Zarmir.
Where are you supposed to meet Aegis after this? I assume he wants this information, or are you going to try to sneak it past him?
He's here. Somewhere. I'm sure as soon as the door is open, he's going to be coming and try to take what he needs.
God, I'm...
Is Soma in the mine connection?
I don't know, it's because you can only do so many, so I assumed he wouldn't be. Because you also have Cam and Metacanna.
No, it's just us.
I'm gonna shoulder up to Soma really quick, kind of just like slide over to him, and I'm going to say, hold on, sorry, outside to DM. Did he tell everybody that his necklace links him to his brother and sister?
He
I
wasn't.
believe he did.
He wasn't super quiet about it. He was just talking it to Zafini and everybody was around, so everyone would have
Got it.
heard. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna
Very close.
same thing. I slide up to him and I'm like, Soma, I'm very quiet about this as much as I can be. I'm like, you can tell where Aegis is with your necklace, you said, correct? Do you sense him?
Give me a perception check to see how he's responding.
That's a no. Good old 8.
Oh.
Soma is trying not to show any kind of warrior weakness right now, and you can't tell if he's gesturing to you if he sees him or not. He's looking straight forward at Zarmir.
I will just one more time kind of quietly to Soma say, you said you would not draw a hand to him, but you would help us. I need to know, is he here?
Give me one more perception check.
Uh, 19.
You see him slowly, like right beneath, like his, like he has his hand slid up his sleeve, and you can just see like a pinky pointing right behind him.
Like behind us?
Yeah.
Okay. I will psychic link to everybody saying Aegis is behind us. Soma can sense him back there.
I can't see him, can I? Because I'm.
Oh yeah, because you're
kinda
invisible and you're looking at direction. Give me an investigation check to see if you can see him because you're actually looking at direction.
with advantage because I know he's there.
Sure.
Yay!
Just like, give me everything.
16?
You don't see necessarily Soma, but you can see the way that these shadow people are being pulled in out of the wall. And there's one that looks a little bit different. And you can assume that there is something, when it's ready for the time, something's going to come, like, drop in from the ceiling. But not directly above you guys. Maybe 20 feet behind the furthest back person. This person will drop out of the ceiling. You can assume that's Aegis, due to the size difference.
I'm gonna use our little instant messenger and let everybody know. Well, we've got company behind us. Pretty sure he is somehow up in the ceiling. Be on guard. I'm gonna make my way over there. And then I'm gonna very sneakily make my way over to get a better view.
Okay. Just to make sure that you're not running anybody, you're going to have to take your time moving through, just because it is now crowded and you don't want anybody to notice you. So you've got to take your time throughout it. So, give me a stealth check. You can give it to me with advantage because you're invisible. But give me a stealth check to make sure that you're not going to make any sounds that would grab attention of anybody.
Lucky point.
Where would Zephynia be without lucky points?
She would die. Spooky 20.
Okay. Moving at half speed, you make no sound or no kind of signal that there's an invisible person moving around the place. Okay. Moving on with the conversation, Zarmir continues to be like, we can just get this over with. All they need is the blade. We just need to get inside, let them take it, and the creature along with it. We just move out of the way. They got the control of the creature. I just need the rest of the books. Once that's done, we'll be relieved of this. And we can do what we need to do from there on. I can take a father's slashing at that point. Whatever you need to do to get it off your chest.
I'm going to, through the psychic, Dira, Dahlia, stay back. You're gonna be needed back there. But he'll also, like, hold up a hand as, like, a way of saying, like, a silent, like, let me go ahead and do this. Just to continue with the charade.
When he does that, as quietly and unobtrusively as possible, I am going to cast Freedom of Movement on him.
Okay.
Okay, and what does that do exactly?
Spells and other magical effects can neither reduce your speed nor cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. You can also spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape from non-magical restraints, such as manacles or a creature that has you grappled.
Okay.
That's for an hour, and it is not concentration.
Yeah. Okay. Is the blade between the two of us?
So yeah, the blade is, so no, the blade would be technically behind him.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like within touching distance of the wall of the door.
Okay. I will slowly approach him.
So he just stands there.
All right. I want nothing more than to trust you, Father. Because at the end of the day, we're family. So, we'll take care of this together. And I'll get you back home. Shall we?
We shall.
And I gesture to the sword.
Okay. He starts kneeling down towards the sword, start putting his hand towards it. Expecting you to do the same.
I hesitantly do so, but I'm waiting to see what he does.
Okay. So he decides to go for it. He grabs the sword and he picks it up. Needed to have to make a roll for it. Okay. He picks it up. He's holding the blade. And he's kind of moving it to his side where he's like holding the hilt at your blinds at a blind spot of you, and he's kind of positioning towards the sword, and he's holding it as steady as possible. What do you do?
I'm sorry. Blind spot?
So he's holding it with his right hand. So he turns, so you're on his left side, so you can't see what his hands are doing when he's holding the sword. So his hand's back like this. You're on this side, so you can't actually see his hand holding it, but you can see the sword itself.
Okay. Do you know which way we need to rotate it? I continue gesturing towards the door.
It's been a while. As he starts moving in the direction of the door, he's going to make another saving throw. Okay, you're still good. He starts pushing into the actual keyhole itself.
Is he looking directly at me?
No, he's looking directly at the door. He's not even looking at you.
As he puts it in the keyhole, I'm going to take the dagger that my father gave me, and I'm going to right for the back.
Okay. Rolled hit. It's going to be a plus.
Oh.
It's going to be a +2 dagger.
+2. Okay. And then what else do I need to add? Is that my...
So you could either use dex or strength for a dagger.
Okay. And then do I add proficiency? If it's a light weapon? Simple weapon?
If you're proficient
I'm
with
just trying to
daggers,
make sure.
Let me see.
I believe I am.
If you're proficient with it, then yeah, you would add your proficiency bonus.
Okay. 22.
Okay. As you immediately just stab it in his back, as he just immediately drops, leaving the sword half within the wall itself, as he immediately drops down, as you see the part of his back that is with the actual blade is like an oddity. You start to see part of his shoulder like partially morphed. As he starts to pull out. Damn it, I knew that was too
Oh,
good to
I'm
be true.
holding on to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna twist it.
Okay. As you twist it, he starts to fall as his mental fortitude fades. As you see, he drops down. As you see a bluish purple, elongated, thin creature. Most of you would know as a doppelganger. As it just drops down without much more fortitude himself, just fades out and just falls. As immediately a total of 10 shadows come out from the walls surrounding you, as Aegis just drops down. Well, one could hope they could have lasted longer, but I'd be naive to assume could. I'm sure you know better, but if it's any consolation, your father died with pride intact.
Thunderwave.
Okay. Before we do that, we're going to end the session there. All right. So, with that, everybody, thank you for joining in. Thank you for the follows. Do not forget to check out our streams tomorrow for Star Wars and Thursday for Echoes. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed tonight's session. We apologize. We'll be off next week. So, if you want to see where this battle's we're going to see where this battle's going to go. You're going to have to wait till next month, which would be the 5th, I believe, which is our next session. So, apologies, but the DM does need a mental break once in a while. So, a little bit of just
The day
checking.
after the eclipse.
Oh, yeah. Well, then there you go.
I'll be in Ohio.
All right. So, thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for jumping into the stream. And we will see you next time. Good night.